The Louie Tee Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to the Command Post Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. Commanders get their asses handed to them 44-22 to drop them to 3-4 on the season. And we have to be honest with ourselves tonight. This is not one of those shows where I'm going to come on here and be super optimistic and tell you that the season's not done and we just got to do this and we got to do that. That's not where we are. Tonight was the final straw, right? It was the straw that broke the camel's back. The only reason I had any hope, I told you this on Friday, I told you this on Thursday, hell, I even told you this on Wednesday. The only reason that I hadn't already thrown in the towel this season is because of Five. We don't know the extent of Five's injury, but whatever it is, he's going to miss time. Time isn't something that is on our side right now. This is and continues to be the toughest stretch of the season. And now he's not going to be a part of it. It was already an up. The Cowboys were the worst team of this stretch, by the way. We just lost by 22 points. They were the worst team during this stretch. The Chiefs just shut out the Las Vegas Raiders 31-0. What do you think they're going to do to us? Okay. Seattle hasn't lost a road game in 9 years. Okay. They don't know what losing on the road looks like. We were better off playing Seattle in Seattle. We had a better chance to win if this game were in Seattle. They haven't lost a road game in who knows how long. They don't lose on the road. And then Detroit wants to put their foot so far into our rectal cavity that we're coughing up Detroit Lion shoelaces. And now you don't have Five to protect you. There's nothing protecting you from getting your ass reamed the next 3 weeks and being 3-7. The only thing that gave me hope, the only thing that kept me sane was Five. He's gone now. I don't know for how long. It doesn't matter. He's going to miss time. Poor Dorrance Armstrong. He tried to give it a go. I don't know why they played him. It's the same thing I said about Debo. They shouldn't have played Debo last week. They cost us Debo this week. They played Dorrance this week, and they cost us Dorrance for the next month. We probably won't see him or Jayden Daniels until after the bye. Put them with Noah Brown. You might as well throw those two on IR. They're not coming back until after the bye week with Noah Brown. We're cooked. And Marshawn Lattimore experiment, it's done. He stinks. All right. I tried and I tried and I tried. He's washed. He's not the player he once was. And it's okay. You don't win every trade. We got the best of the Texans in the Laramie Tunsil trade. We love our guy in Laramie Tunsil. We love what we received in that trade. You win some, you lose some. We lost the Marshawn Lattimore trade. He's ass. It is what it is. Here's the part that sucks the most about where we sit right now at 3-4. Here's the part that sucks the most. We don't have enough young talent to start putting in the game to figure out what parts that you can take with you moving forward. We just got the stuff that we got last year and this year, and it's not enough, right? It's not enough. You only had 5 picks this year. But, hey, on the bright side, when are we going to get to see Kane Madrano? Finally, Joe Witt Jr. woke up, smelled the goddamn coffee, and put goddamn on Frankie Louvu at defensive end, which I've been clamoring for him to do for over a month now. Just put Frankie Louvu at defensive end so you can get Jordan McGee on the field. And what happened? We stopped those perimeter runs. McGee was all over the field. This could have happened a month ago. But, of course, this staff, a little slow to react. stubborn, wants to play veterans. Well, veterans aren't going to help you. Zach Ertz isn't a part of our future, unfortunately. I hate that we're wasting whatever's left of his career. I hate that we're wasting whatever's left of Bobby's career. I hate that we're going to waste whatever's left of Von Miller, who actually played well tonight. I hate that we're going to waste this one good year of Jacob Martin. He actually played his ass off tonight. I hate that we're going to waste all of this, but we got to find out what we got. So we need to find out what Kane Madrano can do. We got to find out what more we can get out of Ben Sinnott. I love Zach Ertz, and I know they're not going to just abandon the season at 3-4. This is a fan talking. This is not what they're going to do. They're going to continue to fight, scratch, and claw, but they're not beating Kansas City. They're not beating Seattle, and they're not going to beat the Detroit Lions. They're 3-7. You can go ahead and put that in the books right now. Your season is done. So what I want to do as a fan, and again, this is not what they're going to do. I don't expect them to start doing this stuff till we get to right around Christmas time when the season is really done. But we're cooked. This season's done. And it's a shame because the injury reaper treated us like we owed him money or something. I mean, he really got after us this year. The injury reaper made a mockery of our season. We never got a chance to actually see what this shit was supposed to be. And I know so many people are going to blame Terry McLaurin, and I'm not going to stand in the way of you doing whatever you feel like you need to do to cope. If that's what you want to do, if you want to point and blame Terry McLaurin for all of this, knock yourself out. I don't give a shit. That's not where I'm placing the blame. Because Terry by himself wasn't the reason why this thing has gone off the rails. Terry getting hurt wasn't the reason Jayden got hurt, isn't the reason that Dietrich Wise got hurt, isn't the reason that Austin Eckler got hurt, isn't the reason that Jayden got hurt, isn't the reason that Will Harris got hurt, isn't the reason that Noah Brown got hurt, isn't the reason that Debo got hurt, isn't the reason that Dorrance Armstrong got hurt, isn't the reason that Javonte John Baptiste got hurt. So if you want to blame Terry, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. But our season was made a mockery of by injuries. Terry was just caught up in the damn storm that was the injury reaper and the damage that was done to this season. We never got a shot. The one game we had all of our stuff against the Giants, you could argue we looked out of sync. Guys didn't necessarily look like they were on the same page, but we looked dominant on defense, and you saw the makings of an offense that could be problematic if we could just get the hell out of the way with the penalties and the mistakes. By the time we got to week 2, injuries started to take effect. We lost Dietrich Wise on the first extra point of the damn game. We lost Austin Eckler halfway through that game. We lost John Bates halfway through that game. Jayden got hurt in that game. Noah Brown got hurt in that game. And this team was never the same after that. Will Harris got hurt the next week. Terry got hurt the next week. We never got a shot. You can blame whoever you want. Knock yourself out. This season's done. And the one PTSD factor that I was trying to get rid of, the one thing that I said, hey, I'm just hanging on by a thread here. I just need this to be, I need to be freed of this bondage. Get these shackles off my wrists. Get these shackles off my feet so I can dance. Free me. Get me a double-digit win season and a playoff berth in back-to-back years, and I am free. Hallelujah. Free me. And the football god said, you got to suffer some more, guy. I thought we were done with this shit. And for those of you who want to go full doom and gloom, oh my God, we're back to the Redskins. This isn't that. We jumped the line last year, right? We were ahead of schedule. We knew this. This team, I said this, we are better than we were last year. The team last year didn't. I just went through a litany of injuries. That didn't happen to us last year. If that would have happened to us last year, trust me, we would not have been the team that we ultimately ended up being, because we were way worse off last year from a depth perspective than we were this year. Trust me. We stayed healthy last year, and that's what gave us a fighting chance. We didn't stay healthy this year, and while we may have had more depth, Trust me. The amount of depth that we have isn't enough to be able to withstand the amount of injuries that we've had to this point. And so it's unfortunate. And even if Jayden had been healthy and not one of the casualties swept up in this injury reaper storm, we've made too many mistakes. Our defense is ass. You want to know the turning point? I don't have a lot to say about this game in particular. All right. I do appreciate the performances of certain guys. I thought Jacob Martin was outstanding. I thought Deron Payne was outstanding. I thought Von Miller was outstanding. It was fun to see Jordan McGee get out there and run around. I thought he did some good things. I thought that Robbie Chosen was fan-effing-tastic. He can actually help. Outside of that, there wasn't a lot to be enthused about. The offensive line was good in pass protection. This is the second week in a row that we've been dog shit run blocking. And I don't know if it's Cliff in the scheme. How about some more perimeter runs? That's a thought. How about you get a toss? How about you get something out on the perimeter? We're supposed to be an athletic offensive line, right? But you get some shit out to the perimeter. Because clearly this slow-ass, long-developing counter shit isn't working. Like, teams are blowing it up now. We can't block for whatever reason. And this dominant run game that we saw the first, 5 weeks of the season is now kaput for whatever reason. So let's get some different type of runs, right? Let's get some stuff out to the perimeter and that kind of thing. But ultimately, we don't have enough to withstand the amount of injuries that we've incurred this season. And it's a shame because the Eagles are going to win this division now. We were the one team that could stop them from winning this division. Dallas isn't good enough. We watched Dallas today. That defense is as advertised. That defense stinks. Boy, we stink on defense too. Like, hey, we knew that going in. Their defense is just as bad. Like, their defense is worse. Let's call it what it is. Their defense is worse than ours. The problem is we didn't have our number 1, number 2, number 3 wide receiver. So they got to expose us because they had a full complement of their weapons and we didn't. So ours looked a little bit different. But we had Robbie Chosen and Chris Moore and Zach Ertz and Jalen Lane running wide open through this defense. And we couldn't catch. We couldn't throw. We couldn't do anything consistently. But guys were open. Trust and believe. The opportunity. Luke McCaffrey on a 4th down, wide ass open, and Marcus Mariota misses him by 2 yards. Can't make this shit up. Like, there are guys wide ass open all day long. So they're not going to challenge or threaten the Eagles because their defense is ass. We were the only team that could do it. And now that we have all these injuries, that ship has sailed. We can't do a goddamn thing. Now, all we can hope for is that we don't embarrass ourselves on national television next week. And all of these national televised games that we have remaining on the schedule, that we don't just go into the tank and embarrass ourselves. And they don't invite us back next year. But here we go again, not being able to handle. And again, I feel I'm so torn because there's so many people that's going to point the blame here, there, and there's enough blame to go around. Joe Witt Jr., you're going to blame him. He's not responsible for tackling. You can leave Marshawn Lattimore one-on-one. Marshawn Lattimore, look, bro, turn and find the football. I'm not mad at Joe Witt Jr. for doing what he did. Marshawn Lattimore is in great coverage. Just turn around and find the football. He never looks back for the football, ever. It's not on Joe Witt. They want to kick a field goal before the half. If you're looking for one turning point in this game, the point where you realize we're not going to win this game, are we? I wasn't there yet. I hadn't gotten to that realization yet. But if you want to look at a point where you say, oh, okay, we're not going to win this game. This offense goes down, they get the touchdown, it's 21-15. And I remember typing in the chat, they're getting a field goal. This man already made a 61-yard field goal with ease. That shit would have been good from 67. So I typed in, I said, they're getting a field goal. There's 40 seconds, over 40 seconds, and they've got 2 timeouts. They're getting a field goal against this team. I said, don't give up a touchdown. No one responded to that comment from me because I don't think they thought we were that bad off that we would actually give up a touchdown. But I knew. I knew. I wish I was wrong, but I knew. And I said, don't give up a touchdown. They're getting a field goal. That's already in the bag. With 2 timeouts and over 40 seconds and the best kicker in the league, that's already in the bag. Just don't give up a touchdown. They get a sack on first down, which forces the Cowboys to use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Then Marshawn Lattimore gives up the big ball. People are crashing out. Joe Witt Jr., fire Joe Witt. That man's in great coverage, and he doesn't find a football. That's not a Joe Witt Jr. problem. Sorry, not sorry. You can blame him if you want. Knock yourself out. Why is he one-on-one? The safety was laid over the top. It's cover 3 probably is what it was. Middle of the field safety. He didn't get over in time. He's in great position. Find a goddamn football. Like, what do you want Joe Witt to do? All right. Maybe you say, just play cover 2. Guy over the top on each side, take away. Okay, yeah, no, you're not wrong. They just would have threw it over the middle of the field then. The middle of the field would have been open, and Ferguson would have been up the seam, or CD would have went up the seam, and it still would have been the same goddamn thing. It just would have been in a different portion of the field. You can't win with this defense. Okay? So he chose to force it to the sidelines because at least it's not going to be a touchdown. And it wasn't. They still were the Cowboys conceding a field goal. They ran it with Javonte Williams on the next play, and this is not Joe Witt. This is not Joe Witt Jr.'s fault. We can't tackle. He gashes us all the way down to the 1-yard line. They wanted a field goal. They were fine with 24-15. We weren't. We weren't good with 24-15 or 23, to 15. It was 20-15. They were fine with 23-15. We weren't. We wanted them to get the whole 7 points. That was the turning point in the game. And even then, at halftime, I was like, yo, we still winning this game. Because I saw us getting pressure on Dak. They couldn't block Jacob Martin. I said, who's going to join him? Jacob Martin, they can't block him. They got no answers for Jacob Martin. Who's going to join him? Von Miller said, I'll join him. I'll join him. I said, okay, we got 2. Do I hear a third? Anybody else out there? And Deron Page said, if I can't get there, I get my hand up, though. I get my hand up. I said, well, shit, that's more than enough for me. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. And we were going to work. Problem is, that backhand, just go at Marshawn Lattimore, man. Trey Amos was in great position. He stumbled on the one to CeeDee Lamb up the sideline, or I think it was Pickens up the sideline. But the secondary was just getting cooked. It really was Marshawn Lattimore, to be honest. How about Marshawn Lattimore crashing into Quan Martin? We look like some 7-year-olds playing football for the first time out there on the field against some 13-year-olds. We run into each other, and CeeDee Lamb catches a football and Johnson to the end zone. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I said, oh, my God. Oh, my God. We're one pathetic loser. Oh, I hate my life right now. This is straight tequila. I don't even do this. Drinking my sorrows away. This season's done. It's always the worst day of the year for me when I officially realize and acknowledge that the season's done. That day is today. This sucks. And the part that sucks even more is that we don't even have enough young players to make this shit worth our while, right? Where you could at least say, well, you know what? Let's just play these young guys and see what we got. I want to see Ben Sinnott. Do we have a pass catching tight end or not outside of Zach Ertz? If not, we need to go get one. Let's find out what he can do. All right? Let's find out what some of these young guys can do, but we don't have enough of them. So the thing, I didn't think we would be here. But what I'm proposing is whatever players have value that you're willing to move on from, more importantly, that aren't a part of the future moving forward, you should be sellers at the trade deadline because we're not going anywhere but down. So in my mind, Daron Payne, if he's not, like, I think the fan base has PTSD when it comes to Daron Payne. They don't want to give him another contract. Like, this is the thing you got to understand. This group has nothing to do with the 2022 Daron Payne that we saw and then didn't see him, play at that level moving forward. They don't know anything about that. Right? They don't know anything about the 2021 season and the subsequent contract he got and how, we have been disappointed in what we've gotten on the investment. We haven't gotten the return on that investment. They don't know anything about that. They just know what they've seen this year. He's been phenomenal. Safety today, about 3 deflected passes. He had like 3 pass breakups today. 3 PBUs for Daron Payne. He was active. He's been active all season. He has value. He can help someone. If you're not going to re-sign him, because again, he's not coming back on the number that he's got on the final year of his deal next year. You're not bringing him back. It was always either Daron's going to come back on a new deal or you're going to cut him like you did his bro, Jonathan Allen, last offseason. It's one or the other. He can't be back on the final year of his deal. So you got a decision to make. Either Daron's a part of this team's future and you're going to re-sign him, or you need to trade him at the deadline. Brandon Coleman, pack his ass up and ship his ass out. If he can't be active on game day, get him the hell out of here. And figure out whatever else is of any value. Noah Igbenogany, if you're not going to put him on the field, Jonathan Jones, if somebody else is looking for veteran corner help, pack their ass up and ship them out. I don't give a shit if it's a 7th, a 6th, whatever. Get something. That's where we should be. Because this season's going nowhere. You might as well get as much of what you can out of it. Extract as much of what you can out of it so we can move forward and get young talent on this roster. Get as much draft capital as you can. Figure out what guys can and can't do. And let's move forward. I'm not one of those people that feel like, oh, shit, we're back to the Redskins again, back to the Snyder era. Nah, that's not that. That's not what this is. These 2 draft classes have been highly successful, contrary to popular belief. You got Jayden out of the deal. You got Johnny Newton out of the deal. You got Mikey Sanders still out of the deal. And I know we're not pleased with what Ben Sinnott has been, but he plays. He contributes. Maybe not to the level of a 2nd-round pick, but he plays and he contributes. I'm very disappointed in what we've gotten out of Brandon Coleman. Clearly, they don't love what they've gotten out of him. Move on from his ass. Luke has started to produce on that investment. And I want to see more Jordan McGee. I think he has a chance to be a stud. And you just keep going and keep going. This year, all 4 of the guys that we thought were going to play have played. The only one that isn't playing is a guy that we thought wasn't going to play this year, and that's Kay Madrano. But at some point, with the way this season is going, we need to see his ass out there too. That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. So it's unfortunate that at 3-4, before we even get out of the month of October, this is our fate. I'm not looking at mock drafts or any of that shit yet, but you can if you want. I mean, the problem with doing that shit to me is that we don't suck enough to the point, because Jayden is going to be back at some point, I believe. I don't think his hamstring is torn or anything like that, think it's a strain, but he's going to miss, significant time, and it's going to do irreparable damage to our season. But they're not going to stop fighting, and you'll look up and we'll be, 7-10, 8-9, and that's going to get you in the middle of no man's land. You're not going to be able to get anything elite doing that. You'll get something solid, but again, you're not getting anything elite doing that. So ultimately, a mock draft doesn't do you any good because you're going to fall in love with elite prospects that aren't going to be in our range, more likely than not. So I wouldn't advise you to do that, but I can't stop you from doing whatever you need to do to cope. And if looking at mock draft, don't send them to me. That's all I can tell you. Don't send them shits to me. I don't need them. All right. But I get it. If that's the path you want to take, knock yourself out. It's just really frustrating, maddening, upsetting to see where we are right now. And the one thing that I want, because we've talked about this, the one thing that I want is I want to see this team get younger. We're old. The beauty of our situation this season from a when we play standpoint, playing at 425, playing on Monday night, playing on Sunday night, playing at 425 again, and Monday night again, and Sunday night again, and Madrid, is that you get to watch all of these other games. And the thing that is the constant of all the games I watch, we're just old. We're old and we're slow. Contrary to what Joe Witt Jr. will try to convince you, we haven't been, I haven't seen us be slower than anybody on defense. Bullshit. Bullshit. We're slow. We're old and we're slow. On defense, not as much on offense, but we could be faster on offense too. But we're slow on defense for sure. That's bullshit. We're not a fast and physical, free-flowing defense. That's not us. Don't lie to yourself, and don't let nobody else lie to you. I want to see this team get younger, more athletic, and that's only going to happen via the draft. The free agent route that we take is usually these one-year Band-Aid solutions, guys that are pushing 30, guys that are over 30, guys that have proven that they're not elite in this league. They're solid, but they're not going to move the needle. I want to see more young talent infused into this roster. So, again, that's why I'm open for business. If you've got stuff that you're not going to sign long-term, that you don't see as a part of the solution, then you need to move on from them, get what you can get, just like you did with Chase Young and Montez Sweat, and move on, right? So we'll see what they decide to do. Look, you got to understand the staff, the organization, the players, they're not looking at it through the same prism as we are. They don't think the season is done. We know the season is done. They have no choice but to continue to fight and rally around Marcus Mariota. That shit is cute. But rallying around Marcus Mariota isn't going to beat Kansas City, isn't going to beat Seattle, isn't going to beat Detroit. So while that's cute, that's not going to win you football games. You blew it against Chicago. You lost a game against Atlanta you had no business losing, and that's why you find yourself here. We could have withstood this stretch without Jayden had you been 4-2 going into this game. You lose this game, and you lose the next 3, and you're 4-6. You still got a shot. Beat Miami, come out of the bye at 5-6, and then get hot, and you still got a chance to go to the playoffs. Well, you blew that opportunity when you lost to Chicago at home on Monday night. Now you're screwed. Because at 3-7, you're cooked. You're cooked. So they're going to continue to fight. They're going to say all the right things. A lot of coach speak, a lot of cliches. They're cooked. They're done. This team's done. They're finished. And good. Bench Marshawn Lattimore. Get rid of him. A lot of you want, okay, what are you going to do? Put in Jonathan Jones? He's 31 years old. What difference does it make? Jonathan Jones, Marshawn Lattimore, it's all the same. It's old, and it ain't going to be here next year. So what difference does it make? I don't get worked up over that shit. That's why you want young guys that you can say, let's see what he can do. This would have been a great spot for a young corner where you go, hey, pull that young boy off the practice squad. Let's give him some run and see what the hell he got. We don't even have one of those. We got none of those. No, none of us want to see Carlin Vigors. We don't have nothing. We just got a bunch of 30-somethings out there. That's why I want to see this team infused with young talent moving forward. I'm not upset about this game and the way it turned out because I went into this game scared shitless. I told y'all. The only reason that I went with us is because of 5. But I said, we struggle with the Cowboys. As is. We struggle with them. More so than any team in the division. We struggle with Dallas, especially in Dallas. And we're going in there with a supporting cast that is laughable. And you saw it early on. Drops, mishaps. And it's not like Jayden was his sharpest either. But some of that can be attributed to the fact that there's not enough time on task. There's not a good synchronicity and there's not a good chemistry with some of these guys because they just got here or Jayden has just gotten back from injury and there just hasn't been enough time on task. So the timing's off. So when you see Jalen Lane come out of a break, Jayden ain't been throwing to Jalen Lane all summer long, all season long. When you see Robbie Chosen coming out of a break and the ball's a little off, what do you expect? He just got here 2 weeks ago. I actually thought he played really well, but in any event, I digress. If you were looking for me to come here and be the voice of reason, I am. I'm still the voice of reason. But I told you that we weren't going to win this game. I didn't say we weren't going to win. I told you I wasn't comfortable with this game. And the only reason that I had any confidence of any kind whatsoever was 5. And then he got hurt. You're done. I told you without 5, we're the Baltimore Ravens. We're a 1-5 team right now. The only team we would have beaten we would probably be 2-5 right now. The Giants and the Raiders, we could have beaten with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. We wouldn't have beaten anyone else on our schedule. And the Giants, with Jackson Dart, smokes us like a mother effing pack of cools. Smokes us with Marcus Mariota. Smokes us. So if you want a silver lining, if you want to take solace in something, is that the Giants blew a 19-point lead and lost to the Broncos and remain in last place. And so we don't have a piece of last place. If you want to take solace in something, at least we're not in last place. Because if they would have won, we would have been tied for dead last with the Giants at 3-4. At least we have 3rd place all to ourselves, all by our lonesome. So if you want to take solace in something, there you have it. There it is. But yeah, the Giants right now are better than us because they actually play defense. They actually play defense. We don't. And without Jayden Daniels, we're not better than the Giants right now. If you look at their roster and you look at our roster, they're actually in better shape than us because they have younger talent on their roster than we do. The difference is Jayden Daniels. That's what makes us better than them. But if he's not healthy, neither are we. So anyway, I digress. I didn't even check. Not one time did I check Sleeper today. I know all of my picks, none of them shits came to fruition. At this point, I don't give a shit. I didn't even look at this thing all day. But let's get to the skill game. Brought to you by Sleeper. We'll come back on the other side and get to the comment section.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
All right. So Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that focuses on bringing people together through sports and gaming. If you haven't already downloaded the app, what are you waiting on? Check the description of this and every single video that I do. You will find a link that you can click that will take you to where you can download this app. It is a beautiful app that allows you to enhance your sports watching experience. If you already have the app, you're ahead of the game. If you don't, download it. Make sure it's available in your state. It's available in over 25 states in the US. Once you've already done all of that and you've verified, they've got $20 waiting for you, free of charge. You don't have to do anything. Just download the app, verify, all of that good stuff, $20 free. All right. Then you use my promo code LTN on top of that to get you a dollar for dollar match on your first deposit up to $100. That's right. You put in 100, they're going to give you an additional $100. So with that said, let's see what happened in the game. So none of this shit went well for me, obviously. Ertz, touchdown, knew he was going to score. Prescott, we knew he was going to throw more than 2 touchdown passes. Jayden would have had way over 31 pass attempts had he stayed healthy. He was already at 22, and we were only on the first possession of the third quarter. So he was going to eclipse 31 pass attempts. Pickens didn't score a touchdown. I'm shocked that he didn't score a touchdown. I thought I had taken Ferguson on a touchdown. I knew he was going to score. I thought I did that, but I didn't, obviously. Or maybe I did on a different one. Yeah, here it is. I did it on this one. So this was a different one. So Pickens didn't score. Bill didn't score. They took Bill out. I was pissed off. They took Bill out and they put C-Rod in, but it wasn't even that one. It was the one that Jayden kept. He fumbled the snap like he did against Chicago, but this time he kept it and he ran it in himself. That was supposed to be Bill's touchdown. Dak didn't throw for 300 because he didn't have to, because we didn't make it a game, or else he was already at 264. He would have eclipsed 300. If Jayden doesn't get hurt, he stays in. This is a real ball game. He would have eclipsed 300 yards. Luke didn't score a touchdown. And again, it never got to the point where he could have. But if Mariota hits him, who knows what he's able to do on that fourth down? Like, he's wide ass open by 5 yards. He catches that, turns up the field. I don't think he scores, but I can't say that he doesn't score. But that's nor here nor there. I also had another one. Ferguson with an anytime touchdown. I knew he was going to score, right? He did. Ertz, I had him. I knew the 2 tight ends were going to score in this game. Jayden Daniels combined 285 rush and pass. I knew he was going to have to be a superhero in this game. Again, he would have eclipsed that. He would have had to had he stayed in the game, but again, that didn't happen. Bill, I was counting on Bill to score, counting on Luke to score. He didn't. Ertz needed 2 more catches. Once Jayden got hurt, all of this shit kind of went out the window. Again, Pickens, this one was like the unreasonable ticket. Like, there was no way this ticket was going to come to fruition. But I said, why the hell not? Just looking at my kicker one, I didn't look at any of this all day. Lutz only made 1 field goal today. Groupie, I knew that it was dead because Blake Groupie, I watched that game earlier, didn't make any field goals. Badgley only made 1. Jake Elliott he missed 1 field goal. And Dicker only made 1 field goal. So, yeah, my kicker picks did not go well today either. So, I digress. That is going to do it for me on Sleeper. If you haven't already done so, download the app. Use my promo code LTN to get you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream.
The Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper.
All right. So let's get to the comment section, see what you guys have to say. And then we'll get out of here. Nyron, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Sim the next season. I mean, I wish we could just fast forward to next year, because the rest of this season is going to be brutal. Like, you got primetime games, you got big time matchups against teams. And look, Jayden will be back for the Christmas game, and he'll be back for the games against Philadelphia. But I mean, it's no fun playing spoiler. Like you actually want to be in this shit. And because we've lost so many, and we're 1-4 in the conference, you're not even in the wild card. You got to win the division, and you're not in the division race now. At 3-4, with Jayden going to be out, you're not in anything. So you're literally playing for pride at the end of the season, and that sucks. That sucks. He says, everyone is hurt, and the D is so ass. Mock draft Monday, anyone? I kid, sort of. You ain't kidding. You dead ass. Like I said, just don't bring that shit this way. Like, you dead ass. You would love to look at some mock drafts. I don't want any parts of that shit. You can have it. Keep that shit to yourself or run it somewhere else. But I get it. I get it. Just, I don't want any parts of it. I'm already depressed as is. I don't need any more, shit that's depressive, right? The Great Watui. Thank you for being a member for the 49 months. Celebrate. Not much to celebrate right now. Run game is too predictable. It feels like it. Like there's no variance to it. I told you, it feels like we lost our creativity 2 weeks ago. We were super creative against the Chargers. And then it feels like we just thought we could just bully people and we stopped being creative. But that's just me. Feels like everything is just gap, out of the pistol, catch it, turn around, read option type stuff. And it seems predictable. Teams are loading up the box. Bill's in there. It seems like they know he's getting the ball and they're attacking the run game. But if that's the case, then you should have opportunities to go play action fake. And look, guys were running open. So it is what it is. Guys were running open. Kami Block, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, you sure this isn't 2023? Seems like we just race swapped the previous staff. Now we got white Ron Rivera and black Jack Del Rio. Yeah, I'm positive. Pick. I am positive that we aren't in the same state that we were in back in 2023. First of all, we didn't have Jayden Daniels. We didn't have a quarterback. And while he may be banged up, we still got a quarterback. So let's start there. Ron Rivera was incompetent. That's not Dan Quinn. He's not incompetent. You can call him a lot of things. Incompetent isn't one of them. Now, Joe Witt, I got no excuses for him. I can't defend him. Like, everyone's going to try to blame him for everything. I choose not to, but he's not a good defensive coordinator. He's not a good defensive coordinator. And so if you want to move on from him, I'm game. I'm open to it. But again, it's not happening right now. So again, you're just going to have to deal with him and all that comes with it. But he's full of excuses every week. This, that, and the third. You know who your personnel is. You know what positions you're put. Like, it took him too long to get Jordan McGee on the field. Like, I don't have patience for that type of stuff. How many times you need to see Marshawn Lattimore get cooked before you go, you know what? I probably shouldn't do that in this situation. Like, you got a sack on first down. How about you just play 2 deep safeties? If they get us over the middle of the field, they get us over the middle of the field. As much as I want to be like, well, Lattimore was in great coverage, that shit don't matter. He don't never look back for the ball. You know your personnel, or you should at this point. So don't put him in a position where he's over there by himself. But again, it is what it is. He's not the black Jack Del Rio. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I'm going to defend DQ until the cows come home, and we're in a much better place than we were in 2023. This isn't that, but Joe Witt Jr. isn't. He ain't worth a damn right now. So yeah, it is what it is. Drunken genius, or genius drunken, excuse me. Been a member for 41 months. Salute. Who writes, Lou, this defense play-wise has got to be on the same scale of the Joe Barry, Greg Minuski coach defense. Effing embarrassing. That sequence before the half was incredible. It was so incredible to watch us blow it in that fashion. We worked so hard. I told the chat, I said, this is Thanksgiving all over again. If you recall Thanksgiving back in 2023, I said, this is Thanksgiving. If you remember that game, it literally was the same thing, right? If I'm not mistaken, Sam Howell kept a read option, scored a touchdown, cut the deficit to, I think it was 20 to 30. I think it was 13 to 10, right? 13 to 10. And the defense gave up a touchdown in like 30 seconds. And we went to halftime down 20 to 10. And it stayed 20-10 in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, they went off on us and did all of the extra shit, the alley-oop and the chicken and all of the embarrassing shit that they did to us. All of that happened. The Deron Bland pick six, all of that shit happened. I said, it's Thanksgiving. I literally said this right before half. I said, this is Thanksgiving all over again. Not right before the half. Yeah, no, right before the half because they scored right before half. I said, this is Thanksgiving all over again when they scored a touchdown. I literally said to the chat, they already got a field goal. With 2 timeouts and 40, they already got a field goal. Just don't give up a touchdown. Then they gave up the touchdown. And that shit was comical. And so once they gave up the touchdown, I said, this is Thanksgiving all over again. And I couldn't have known Jayden was going to get hurt. Mariota was going to come in, throw a pick six to Bland like Sam Howell did in that Thanksgiving game, and the shit was going to get out of hand like it did. But you could see the writing was on the wall when the defense just couldn't even. Yeah, the defense is bad. It's bad. It's bad. And the bad part is normally when, like in those years with Greg Minuski and Joe Barry, we couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. We couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. We actually got pressure today. That's the shit that should scare you to death. We got pressure today. And the shit didn't matter. We are awful. Skins fan 1989. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I hope Terry's happy. This is all his fault. There's a number of fans who feel this way. And I can't talk you off the ledge. I don't agree with you, but it's not my place to tell you you're wrong. So this one's for you guys out there that think this is Terry's fault. Cheers to you. I got nothing for you. Have at it. People were already feeling some type of way about Terry during the negotiations. All this did was further that feeling. And so he becomes public enemy number one. And I'm not a part of that group that has the pitchforks and torches out, but I'm not stopping you either, right? Ryan E, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, JD5 is still my quarterback, but even before he got hurt, he isn't seeing the field. Sophomore slump is real. He'll turn it around, but not as sharp as last year. I don't agree with that. Here's why I don't agree with that. You can't ask Jayden to work miracles when he's not getting time on task. I can't stress this to you guys enough about Jayden being a process-oriented quarterback. He needs reps. He needs to be able to see it over and over and over again to be more comfortable doing it. That's why Thursdays don't work for him, because he doesn't get enough reps. There's not enough time on task. And this year, Cliff has said it, it's just not the same because it's not enough time on task. It's been shiggity since the summertime, and it ended up happening in the regular season, and it's never been normal for him this year. He's never had a chance to settle in with his number one, his number two, his number three. This offense has never been whole at all this season. Terry got here, a week or two before the season started? And remember, he had to ramp up. He didn't just jump into practice. He had to ramp up. You get to week 1, and you can tell the person he was most comfortable with is who he threw the ball to. Debo. That's the only guy that was there all summer. You get to week 2, Noah Brown gets hurt. And the guys that had been there, like Austin Eckler, hurt. Then the next week, Terry gets hurt. Then the next week, Debo gets hurt. And now he's nursing a bruised heel. And so he's never had that. So I disagree with the sophomore slump thing. I would have loved to have seen my GOAT with an opportunity to just have a normal offseason. We all bitched and complained about that over the summer. This shit is wearing on this offense. The defense, remember how good they kept telling us the defense looked? And we was like, I was like, bullshit. They went to that joint practice against New England and they got cooked. They got cooked. They were playing against an inferior offense all summer, and it gave them false confidence. This defense was ass. And again, this defense might have been better than what we thought had we stayed healthy with Dietrich Wise and Will Harris. But I still think they were going to be bad. I would have loved to have just seen what it looked like. I would have loved, because they still weren't even that bad against Green Bay. As bad as it looked, as bad as it felt, they still weren't that bad in that game. They got stops early when Dietrich Wise was healthy. They got a 4th down stop. They didn't give much up in the second half. I would have loved to have seen Will Harris stay healthy, Dietrich Wise stay healthy, the depth on that defensive line stay the way that it was supposed to. I would have loved to have seen what it looked like, but we never got a chance. Like I said, injuries robbed us of seeing what this season could have been. We never got a chance to really see what it was going to be. That's unfortunate. I don't believe in the sophomore slump for Jayden, but again, I can't tell you how to feel. Anthony Mayhew, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Anthony writes, my heart hurts, Lou. Both of ours does. I truly believe the season is over. Straight tequila, my guy. We both understand the season is over. It sucks. We didn't even make it out. We didn't even make it to Halloween. I've really been trying to stay positive. I have to be realistic. We are not ready yet. Hell. Again, I can't say that we're not ready as much as we never were given a chance to be. And some of it is our fault. The whole Terry situation, again, that's self-inflicted. And y'all gonna blame Terry. You know, we still don't know the particulars of that situation. Both sides are to blame. AP and Terry are both to blame. But ultimately, they didn't allow this offseason to be normal and us to go in with the momentum from last year. They didn't allow us to take that momentum and ride it. They derailed any momentum we had with that bullshit, and it is what it is. We are definitely not ready now with all the injuries, clearly. I wish we would have gotten a chance to see what this was supposed to look like, but we never did. We never did, and that's unfortunate. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Rob writes, what up, Lou? What's up, Rob Injuries have decimated this team, but aside from that, there are just too many holes to be competitive week in and week out. Well, that's the problem, is the injuries have shined a light on spots of the roster that already either were deep or weren't that deep to begin with, and you couldn't afford injuries at that spot. We didn't love the receiver position going into the season. I don't think the receiver position is trash. We thought that the receiver position, if fully healthy, had a chance to be special with Terry, Debo, and Noah. We was like, who's stopping this offense when you add in Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, Bill? Like, we were really optimistic. But we never got to see that shit for real. Then we were like, yeah, you add in Jalen Lane and Noah and Luke McCaffrey. boy, this Jay has a chance to be really dangerous, but we never got to see it. So the defensive line we thought was a strength. Well, that shit got ravaged by injuries. Dietrich got hurt. Dorrance got hurt. Javonte Jean-Baptiste got hurt. And all of a sudden, that depth that we thought was outstanding truly wasn't. Or it got tested. So when you're in year 2 of a recalibration and you're trying to find your north, you're not going to be a super deep roster. And we couldn't afford injuries, especially not at the level that we've experienced them. And it just kicked our ass, man. And, Jayden getting hurt twice now is unfortunate, but it just is what it is, right? Just is what it is. Elijah Harrison, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, we're the worst preseason team in the NFL for a reason. We have no depth. We are not the Niners or the Bucks. Well, I told you in the preseason when we were getting our asses kicked, the preseason is about depth. It's about how good your depth is. I didn't question whether or not the depth was solid. It was solid behind the guys, but how elite is your depth? How deep is your depth? That's why the Ravens killed it in the preseason, because the Ravens are deep. But the Ravens still ain't shit without Lamar Jackson. You've seen that already this year. But ultimately, you can be as deep as you want to be. You got to still be healthy somewhat. You see, the Ravens lost Lamar Jackson. They lost Roquan Smith. They lost Ronnie Stanley, their tackle. They lost, one of their corners. At one point, it was Marlon Humphrey. He came back. They lost the other corner, the one from Clemson, right? Wiggins. And then they lost Hamilton for a little while. And Matabike's done for the season. You keep losing players, and eventually that shit's going to catch up to you. I don't give a shit how deep you are. The Ravens are deep. They ain't that damn deep. They have all these injuries keep piling up, and then you lose Lamar Jackson. I don't care how deep you are. That shit's going to catch up with you eventually. So we aren't those teams. We don't have that. But you got to understand, how long has John Lynch been in San Francisco? How long has he been building that roster? How long has Jason Light been in Tampa Bay? How long has he been building that roster? You can't compare us to those teams. We just started last year. You can't compare us to the Eagles. How long has Howie Roseman been building that roster? You can't compare us to those teams. We just got started here. And I know we skipped steps last year, so you want to feel like we're on the same level with those teams from a roster standpoint. The only reason we were ever in a conversation with any of those teams was because of Jayden. That is it. And that's why I think some of y'all got confused. The only reason we were allowed to skip steps was because of 5. The minute that 5 isn't healthy, all that shit goes out the window, and we go back to the bottom of the totem pole with the likes of the Dolphins and the Browns and those teams, because that's where our roster is. So I think some of y'all got confused as to where we were from a roster standpoint. You can't compare us to Tampa Bay or San Francisco or Philadelphia or Green Bay or Baltimore. They've been building their programs for decades. Same general manager, same philosophies, building and building and building year after year after year. That's not what we've been doing. We just started. This is year 2. Crazy Negro, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, season over. Preserve JD5. Dak greater than JD5. Nah, I'm not buying that. But you're right about the season being over. It is over. I agree with that. Ryan E, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Witt has a bad scheme or players aren't executing. It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. His scheme isn't the best, but I think he gets a lot of the blame, sometimes unjustifiably so, but he's not a great defensive coordinator. And I'm not going to sit here and act as if he is. But the players aren't executing too. Like we saw some shit today where you just go, bro, really? Seriously? You just going to let that happen? But at this point, if you aren't benching him, that's still on with. I mean, you're benching him to put in who? that's the thing is y'all wanted to bench dudes to put who in the game exactly? You think Marshawn Lattimore is bad? Put Noah Igbenogany in the game. See what happens. You want to put Jonathan Jones in? Go ahead. It's not going to get any better. But if that's going to satisfy you and make you feel better about it, knock yourself out. He says, Amos, Mikey outside with Noah. That's not the answer. I'm telling you, that's not the answer. Mikey is not a boundary corner. I'm telling you, that's not the answer. You want it to be so bad. It's not the answer. McGee has to play more. I agree. Maybe some Owens. Owens showed earlier in the season he asked. I told y'all when we got Owens last year that he's a project. It was going to take him like 3 years to get where he needed to be. Owens ain't ready to contribute at a high level. He ain't. They tried to give him some snaps early, in the season. And he just ain't ready. Jonathan Adams. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jonathan Adams writes, at this point for the defense, just blitz everyone. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Run game is predictable. Percy and McGee should be doing the blitz and run coverage, but this hurts big time. So here's my thing about just blitz. Like, it's easy to say that. You really don't mean that, because if you blitz and then you get cooked, it's even worse. So I understand where you're coming from. I'll just say this. I've said this all along, and this is my biggest gripe with Joe Witt Jr. is he's not maximizing the talent that we have. People want Mikey to go back outside. The reason you want Mikey to go back outside is because you don't think he's a good nickel corner. I disagree with that. I don't think he's being utilized correctly. I don't think he's being utilized correctly. He had a good pass breakup today. Probably should have picked the shit off. But he's not being utilized the way that he should be. You're not maximizing his talents. That's the way I feel. But we already saw Mikey outside last year. That ain't where he belongs. That's not where he's supposed to be. So for those of you that want to put Mikey outside, I'm here to tell you that ain't it. That ain't it. You can't blitz Percy and McGee. You can't just say, take your fastest guys and run them at the quarterback. They're not getting a straight line, direct path to the quarterback. Like, you got to be strategic in how you do things. If it were that simple, anybody would be able to call defensive plays and get after. We were getting pressure with 4. I mean, again, we were getting pressure with 4 today. That's the part that hurt me the most, was like, we wasted a quality effort rushing the quarterback. We were drawing penalties on their offensive line. We were getting the Dak, and we just couldn't cover on the back end. Marshawn Lattimore getting turned around on some shit that you ain't got no business getting. Like, Pickens never threatened him to the inside for him to turn his whole body around and get turned around on a simple out route. Like, that's nasty work. Marshawn Lattimore is cooked, bro. I've been running from this shit all year. I've been defending this man, standing up for him. He is ass. He's done. He's not Benjamin St. Juice. He's not Michael Davis. He's not, Emmanuel Forbes Jr. He ain't at that level, but he ain't that much better. He ain't that much better. We couldn't even put Benjamin St. Juice on the field without a penalty or him giving up a play. At least with Marshawn, we go a whole game where he actually is serviceable. A whole game where either he not getting tried or he's doing his job. But when they do come after him, when they have the talent to go after him, shit is bad. It's all bad. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, sick of Quan and Marshawn running into each other. That shit was comical. I had to laugh to stop from being upset when they ran into each other. That was some bad news bears type shit, bro. Unbelievable. I had to like, what am I watching right now, man? What am I watching? Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. All right, Atlanta, I need you to stop McCaffrey here. I need this to be a huge check touchdown to the flats. Nope. And he just ran it. Come on, Atlanta. Show some backbone. Show some backbone. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, that game looked like 2023 Ron Rivera team. It did. I told you that looked like the Thanksgiving game. I said it in the mob chat. Looked like the Thanksgiving game. Witt needs to be fired or lose play calling duties. I can tell you that DQ is not happy. I saw him cussing on the sidelines before halftime when they gave up the touchdown. He was pissed. I don't know if he's at that point with Witt where, like, it's almost too early to do that. If you do that right now, then there's no other recourse. But I can see him addressing this in the offseason. I can see him like trying to do something else. He seems like a loyal dude. Like he wouldn't can Joe Witt, but I think he can acknowledge that, you know, he's acknowledged already that Witt hasn't done a great job in some of the things that he said throughout the press conferences throughout the year. So I know he's not completely pleased with what he's seen, but he was definitely pissed tonight. Injuries ruined our season. That's what I'm riding with. You can't convince me otherwise. Like, we never got a chance. Injuries absolutely derailed our season and never gave us a chance. And I need Jayden to be fine on to Kansas City. I wish it was as simple as on to Kansas City. I'm glad you said it. My ears heard it. My brain didn't receive it. But I appreciate you anyway, Swaggy P. Hashtag raise hell. Hashtag raise hell. I agree with you. I need Jayden to be okay. I need this to be as insignificant a hamstring strain as it can possibly be. He's going to miss time regardless. They tried to roll Dorrance out there. Dorrance made it all of 2 plays before that hamstring said, what the hell you do? You ain't practice all week. What the hell you doing out here? You right. So Jayden, they're going to be extra cautious with Jayden. He's going to be on that Lamar Jackson plan. Again, we won't see that man until Denver. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? People saying we need to trade. Trade what? Sad part is we don't have anything anybody wants. Without 5, I don't know what to watch for anymore. Like I said, there aren't many assets on this team. You got 2, Brandon Coleman and Deron Payne. Those are 2 guys that, and Noah Iguanagany, Jonathan Jones are 2 veterans that if a team who needs some depth at corner is looking for some help, hey, I got these dudes here. What you trying to do? But ultimately, it's not a lot here that will get other teams excited. You know what I mean? So there's not a lot that other teams will want. But all you can do is say, hey, if you're interested, hit my line and see what happens. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Now, I hope people aren't talking about trading for players. No, we're not giving up no draft capital. That's not what we at. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, strap into the struggle bus, y'all. Rough season. You know, put your seatbelt on. Buckle up. Buckle up. Wrath of God, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB mob. You know what to do. Show Wrath of God some love. Welcome with open arms. Welcome to the squad. Wrath of God. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Rob, writes, being ahead of schedule gave us unrealistic expectations. It reminded me, and I said this, I said, I hope this isn't 2020 all over again. Right now, 2020, I didn't get sucked in because remember, I told y'all you ain't winning shit with Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback, which he was the starter, the penciled in starter going into 2021. So I wasn't necessarily buying. But what it did to Ron Rivera was it gave him this false, expectations of where we should be. And the fan base, to a lesser degree, it told them that, oh, no, we won the division last year. I don't think it gave us unrealistic expectations. What it did was it put expectations on us that if we didn't get a shot, which the injuries robbed us of any shot, we weren't going to be able to live up to. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade last year. I wouldn't trade going into this season, the excitement and the expectation. I wouldn't trade any of it. I wouldn't trade any of it. None of us could have foreseen or foreshadowed what was to come from an injury standpoint. None of us knew what was waiting around the corner for us. But it definitely gave us expectations. 49ers got that? Yes, they do. I wouldn't say that it created unrealistic. I would just say that it created expectations that we had to stay healthy to try to fulfill. And if we couldn't stay healthy, we weren't going to be able to fulfill. They need at least 2 more offseasons to infuse this team with youth and talent. Doesn't help that the previous regime botched 3 drafts. No, it didn't help. It didn't help that they sent us in here. But we can't keep harping on that. It is what it is. Our situation is what it is. We know that the last regime left us in a poor spot. But, we didn't allow that to be a crutch last year. It sucks when you look at where we could have been. Had you drafted a Gonzalez, had you drafted, better players, a Nick Bolton in that 21 draft, if you would have gotten some of those drafts correctly, if you would have drafted a Chris Olave, like we might not have Jayden though. Like if those drafts had gone the way that they should have gone, you could argue we wouldn't have been bad enough to get Jayden last year, and you wouldn't be in a position where you got a guy. So you can't have it. You can't have everything, as much as we want to be able to say we should have done this, we should have done that. Everything happened for a reason. I'm a big believer in that. Everything happens for a reason. And same with this year. This shit sucks, man. This shit absolutely sucks. This is some real bullshiggity, right? But ultimately, it's happening for a reason. And I think we're going to come out of this situation better off because of the strife and the struggle. And, all of this that we're experiencing is going to make the guys that are here, that are a part of the future, it's going to humble them. It's going to put them in a position where they're going to remember this. Like Jayden he's the ultimate competitor. He wants to be out there. You saw him throw his helmet when he went into the blue tent. He knew he was hurt. He wasn't coming back. It's going to make all these guys better. Like, even like I see the lessons being learned. It just sucks that we can't apply them and we don't get more opportunities to apply them. Jayden I talked about this briefly. Jayden on the touchdown right before the half. That's the same thing that happened last week against Chicago, where he bobbled the snap, and instead of him eating it and just taking it himself on that 3rd and 1, he tried to hand it to Bill and he fumbled it. What did he do this week? He bobbled that bitch and he said, I'm keeping the shit. I'm not even going to try to hand this bitch to Bill. Keeping it myself. And I'm going to, because that was a handoff. That wasn't a keep. That was a handoff. He bobbled that shit and he said, I'm keeping this bitch. And he ran it in himself. That's growth. That's taking that lesson that you learned last week and applying it. Like you could see the application of a lesson learned, and it sucks that we're not going to get more of those this season with some of these other players. That's the shit that sucks. But We are what we are. We have what we have. Like, we can't keep dwelling on what the last regime did or didn't do. Haval, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Haval writes, we went from must-watch TV with all these standalone games to the 2023, what else is on TV? New York Jets after Rodgers got hurt. Shit, I feel like the injury reaper about to go after my ass like I owe him money. You ain't lying, Haval. I never eat during games, during Commanders games. I don't eat. I'm too nervous to eat. If I don't eat before the game starts, I'm not going to eat. The only thing that I might do is have a drink during the game. I don't eat a damn thing. I can't. I'm a wreck during these games. Man, I busted out a whole spaghetti meal, ate that shit. I was watching the Broncos game. Look, I'm a football fan. I tell y'all that shit all the time. I'm a football fan. That Broncos game was good as a bitch. That Cardinals-Packers game was good as shit. I had other games to watch. I was not tied to our game at all whatsoever. I went and got me a big-ass plate of spaghetti, and I sat in front of the TV, and I watched them 2 other games that went down to the mother effing wire and was entertained. Like, I'ma still love football, bro. You know what I'm saying? But, like, this shit it's tough. Because that's supposed to be me in front of our game watching that shit. Not me watching Broncos, Giants, or Cardinals, Packers. But that's, like you said, we went from must-see TV to just don't embarrass me. I'm back to that bullshit. I was over that, bro. I didn't have to do that shit no more. Don't embarrass me. I'm back to that shit now. We might get embarrassed on Monday night. We might get embarrassed on Monday night. Chris and Pip, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, as soon as Luke Ass got hurt, I knew what was up. He came back though, but he was doing too much. I was pissed off at Luke because I'm like, Luke, bro, why? Why? I was talking reckless. I was like, hey, we still got 2 timeouts. It's 10 seconds left. That ball went in the end zone. Take this knee, get it at the 35. Because it didn't land in the field of play. Get this at the 35. You got 2 timeouts. You don't need both of them. You just need one. This Cowboys defense, just as bad as ours. You get one hefty completion. You call a timeout, and we could have kicked a 58-yard field goal. I don't know if he's going to make the shit, but at least you would have had a shot. Luke want to not only bring the bitch out, Luke want to jump in the air like he fucking Superman. Almost killed himself. What are you doing, bro? You're doing too much. This is what happens when shit starts to go off the rails. Everybody starts trying to put on the cape. Luke, you ain't built like that, bro. You're doing too much. This is too goddamn on far for him. It's down the middle, though. Shit, he made it. Barely. Eddie Pinheiro don't got no 55-yard leg. That shit barely made it over. Show me the other angle. I bet you that shit ain't touched the net at all. It went in, though. It went in, though. He been so good for them. And he was on the streets. We could have had Eddie Pinheiro. My biggest gripe with Eddie Pinheiro was he ain't had no leg. Not that he wasn't accurate. He's very accurate. That's why Shanahan signed him. He was like, he might not be able to kick 58-yard field goals, but I know he going to make the 47-yarders and all that shit that they was missing with Jake Moody. And he just hit a 55-yarder. I don't think that shit had no more distance on it, though. That shit, like, it barely made it over the damn crossbar, but it went in. That's wild. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Right, this schedule is a bitch, man. About to get embarrassed on 2 primetime games in a row. Let me see how far this joint went over the bar. I wish they showed the other angle. There, this is what I want to see. Yeah, that hole barely got over. I knew it ain't touched no net. It might have been good from 56. It might have been good from 56. That shit would not have been good from 57. Yeah, look, we definitely have a realistic shot of getting embarrassed against the Chiefs. I don't know if we're going to get embarrassed by Seattle. I think Marcus could give us a chance to fight in that game. But we definitely got a shot to get our asses handed to us on Monday night against the Chiefs. Like that shit went from, man, it's gonna be fun to see Jayden go to I thought we could actually have a Cincinnati game from last year to this could easily be 2023 Miami game, right? Like one of them type shits where you just like, oh hell, the Bears game from that 2023 season, right? It could easily be one of them shits. So yes, this is not ideal. 6-7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Dave, for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, those 45-minute camps aren't talked about enough. Reminded me of Club J. We still have JD5 for the future. We need to let these young linebackers play. And like I said, he finally put, I would love to see the snap count. He put McGee in, and McGee played well today. He put him in, finally. Frankie Louvu went down to defensive end. He should have been doing that. See, this is the shit I'm talking about. You see how fast they went down the field and got in the field goal range? I thought we could do that shit. We could have did that shit with 2 timeouts. We could have done that. And Luke asked when to come out the goddamn end zone on some bullshit. Boom, they in field goal range. They about to get them 3 points back. 2 plays, they got the damn field goal right back. Crazy. So you going all the way back to the summertime, and you want to, you know, again, y'all could try to beat up the staff and this, that. Again, we never got a shot. We never got a shot. Injury Reaper never gave us a chance to see what this shit could really be. And whether you want to blame Terry or not, Terry ain't got nothing to do with Noah Brown getting hurt. Terry ain't got nothing to do with Dietrich Wise getting hurt, with Will Harris getting hurt, with Javonte John-Baptiste getting hurt, with Austin Eckler getting hurt. He ain't got nothing to do with Dorrance Armstrong getting hurt or Jayden getting hurt not once but twice. He ain't got nothing to do with that. But again, you can blame Terry if you want. Terry, you could blame Terry for Terry getting hurt. He got everything to do with himself getting hurt. But he ain't got nothing to do with all them other dudes getting hurt. So, and he already playing one of the young linebackers. He just got to put the other one in, and at some point they will. It ain't now because they're not at the point of the season where we at. They're not at that point. So I know this mother effer ain't just get an intentional grounding, and they about to run off these 10 seconds, and they ain't even gonna get this. Some Raheem Morris shit though. Let me see if he about to get these 10 seconds run off on this intentional grounding. Intentional grounding. That come with a 10-second runoff. They don't got no timeouts. That's the end of the half. Raheem Morris is such an ass clown. God, he's a terrible coach. Jesus, get the field goal, man. Wrath of God. I think I just skipped one. Yeah, Captain Obvious. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Captain Obvious, writes, after listening to you tonight for 10 minutes, I retract what I said about the D. I'm still rocking with these coaches, though. The injuries never gave us a shot this year. It's really unfortunate. I really, the part that was so frustrating about tonight's game is that we went in shorthanded. We knew we had to play a perfect game to have a shot. Jayden was going to have to put on the cape. We were going to have to run the football. We started out well on the ground, and then I don't know what happened after the first like 3-4 runs. It just went downhill from there. We couldn't run shit. And a lot of you are like, the run game's predictable, and maybe you're right, and it's easy for teams to decipher what the hell it is we're trying to do. But we couldn't run the ball. We were dropping passes. Jayden wasn't his sharpest. It was too easy. It was too easy. And then the part that really frustrates me, we actually got pressure on the quarterback. We wasted a good day at the office getting to the quarterback because we couldn't cover on the back end. And I watched teams all the time that play man coverage and the shit don't look like us. So I don't want to hear it. Like, I watched teams today play man coverage and that shit's sticky as hell. And our shit just loose and saggy. It's nasty. It really is. But I believe in this. I believe in Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, the core of this staff. Larry Izzo. I believe in the core of this staff. The assistants. Joe Witt Jr. is the only guy that I look at sideways like, we got a lot of pieces to the puzzle. Do you actually fit in this equation? Yes or no? And right now, it's no. He's got to prove to us that he fits. Right now, it doesn't feel like he's a part of the solution. He's a part of the problem. Wrath of God, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Wrath of God, thank you for the super chat. Who writes, you should have said please. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My favorite part of the Commanders is you, Louie. I appreciate that. I wish the favorite part of the Commanders was us winning and having fun like we did last year, but clearly that's not going to happen this year. And that's a bitter pill to swallow on October the 19th. That's tough to stomach, but here we are. Wrath of God, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Louie T to the dub E. Man, your entire video took the words out of my mouth, making me join the mob. I appreciate you. But I've been saying the same on Senate McGee and put some love on Lukey, baby. Lil D. We got to find out what we got at this point. And they're not there yet. Again, they're not where we are. As fans, we already see what's waiting for us around the corner. We don't got to wake up every day, go to work, and convince ourselves we got a shot to beat Kansas City. We can say, we ain't beating Kansas City. Just don't get embarrassed. We ain't beating Seattle. Just don't get embarrassed. We ain't beating Detroit. Just don't get embarrassed. We can say that. They can't go in there with that mindset. They got to think they got a shot. But they really don't. They really don't. I'm not picking them to beat Kansas City. I'm not picking them to beat Seattle. I'm not picking them to beat Detroit. If you're looking for me to pick us to win the next 3 weeks, you're in the wrong place, because I'm not picking us to win a damn thing over the next 3 weeks. I'm not picking us to win a game until we play Miami, and even that might be questionable by the time we get to that game. We'll see. Will Cato, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Will Cato writes, I hate to say it, but do we try to trade Debo for a second or a third? It just depends on how they feel about Debo. I've said this already. If you don't see Debo as a part of the future of this team, yeah, you should trade him. If you're not going to give Debo a new contract this offseason, if you're not willing to franchise tag Debo Samuel, which you shouldn't be, because you're not going to pay him that much money. So if you're not willing to give Debo a contract and you're just going to let him walk in free agency, you probably should try and trade him. Now, you got to ask yourself, what are you going to get for Debo? We traded a 5th-round pick for Debo. Are you going to get more than that? Because if not, you might as well let him leave in free agency, get a deal, and try to get a compensatory pick. You won't get that shit in 2026. You'll get it in 2027, but it'll be more than what you might be able to fetch in a trade. Now, if you want instant gratification, if you want it right now, fine, trade him. But if you want to see how this thing plays out and you think there's potentially a future with Debo here in Washington, then you shouldn't do it. But again, anything's possible. Everything's on the table for me. If Debo's not a part of the future, trade him. Somebody could use a Debo Samuel. Why not? You're not getting a second or a third for him, though. You probably can get a 4th-round pick for him. You traded a 5th for him. I can see you getting a 4th for him. I don't see you getting a 3rd for him. Wrath of God, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Wrath of God writes, at least Lukey is available even after that hit. His 3 tutties in the last 4 games. Season's dead. Time to seek draft capital. Got to get younger. Too many injuries. I appreciate your time, Lil D. again, the injuries robbed us of any shot of having a realistic chance at being what we thought we could be before the season started. But it's good to see the puppies get an opportunity. The Jalen Lanes of the world. I thought he had some, plays today. Had another drop. That's the only thing about him is he'll make a play, he'll drop the football. That's the part that's a little frustrated with him. But Luke, it was open. And so that sucks that, Bill non-factor today. Non-factor for Bill. And not necessarily his fault, but he didn't make a difference in the game. And then he's still not good at pass protection. I think one of the plays where Jayden got sacked or there was pressure on him, that was Bill in the game. I wonder if Bill was in the game on the play where Jayden got hurt. I think he might have missed an assignment on that one or got blown by, whatever the case may be. But we do need to figure out these young guys, continue to give them reps. The only way they're going to get better is by playing, putting them in positions and seeing what they can do. Michael, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Michael writes, perhaps May was the better option. We're not doing that. We're not going to do that. You weren't saying that last year when Jayden Daniels took us all the way to the NFC Championship game. We're not going to do that. Wrath of God, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, most important, hope JD5 is good. Lil D. That's the most important part. Like, we don't know the severity of the injury. All we can hope is that it's minor and that it's not like a torn hamstring and he's done for the season or anything like that. All we can hope is that it's a hamstring strain. He's week to week, day to day, whatever, like Lamar, but he ain't playing. He ain't playing. Right? If anything, I will say this will give his knee more time to heal to the point where he won't need the brace. But he was fine with the brace and he was playing and he was running and he was doing everything he needed to do. So Colin Talk Sports, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I understand the personnel sucks, but Joe Witt doesn't give us any advantages defensively. Facts. Crafty blitzes, creating turnovers, in-game adjustments, pointless. Yep, I agree with all of that. Agree with every bit of that. Every bit of it. He doesn't add any value. That's basically what you're saying is he doesn't add any value. And he doesn't. He doesn't. Nathan Isakoff, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Nathan writes, Louie, like you, I didn't expect to win, but I thought we would be competitive. Next week might be ugly too. HTTC, HTTFT, HTTWFT, HTTR. I thought that I was nervous. I didn't say we weren't going to win. I picked us to win still, but I wasn't confident. And I told y'all I wasn't confident. And I told y'all I didn't feel good about this game. And I never thought we weren't going to be competitive because Jayden was supposed to play the entire game. I didn't factor in him getting hurt. So never saw this game getting out of control. Even with the defense playing as poorly as it did, Jayden was going to keep us in this game because the defense for the Cowboys is awful. But again, couldn't factor in Jayden getting hurt. Didn't see that coming. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, JP, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, this team is a joke and the season is cooked. Get rid of Witt and tank for it. You can't use the T word. That doesn't exist. No point in even trying to win Jeremiah Smith, please. And we're not going to be drafting high enough to get him. 1 and 2, they're not going to see running back as that glaring of a need that you spend a pick on a guy like that. But he is, I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. I can tell you he is like that. But that's not what we're going to do. So you can come off of that. William Rogers Jr., been a member for 38 months. Salute. Giving this team 8 wins seems like wishful thinking. Yeah, no, it does. I mean, at 3 and 7, 8 wins seems like a bit of a stretch, but there's still games on the schedule that you can possibly win. Look, the Giants are better than us right now. We'll see what happens by the time we get to that game. But there's still Miami. There's still Minnesota. There's still the Giants. Like, there's still games on the schedule where you look at and say, Seattle, they're good. They're not like that. Like, we could beat Seattle with Marcus Mariota. All right, we could beat them with Marcus Mariota. So like the season is done because you're not beating Detroit, you're not beating Kansas City, and at best, rather, you're 4-6 going into the Madrid game. And if you can find a way to get to 5-6, you're not completely dead coming out of the bye week with Jayden coming back. You're not completely dead, but that would mean you'd have to beat you'd have to win 2 out of your next 4 games. The only 2 you have a shot at winning is Seattle and Miami. You're not beating Detroit and you're not beating Kansas City. So we're not completely dead, but for all intents and purposes, this season is cooked. You can get to 8 wins though. There's still a way. There's still a path to 8 wins. So I'm not counting us out of that. Will Kavanaugh, thank you for the super chat. Greatly, or thank you for being a member for 33 months. If Allen was still here, he would be in a do-rag, without question. He would get do-rag Allen after this game for sure, right? Tribal Warfare, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tribal Warfare writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I just wanted to see DQ put his money where his mouth is and make the damn necessary changes. I don't care if it's staff or personnel, just make the changes. I hear you. I don't know where the value is in firing Joe Witt. Who do you elevate? How does that go for you? Getting rid of a coach at this point of the season feels desperate. Maybe we are desperate. I mean, we're 3-4 and we can't get a stop with 40 seconds left. We give up a touchdown in 30 seconds. So yeah, maybe we are desperate at this point. So he strikes me as a loyal guy. I don't see him getting rid of Joe Witt Jr. I think he feels like Joe Witt needs more time. So and again, I don't necessarily disagree with you. C Trail, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. C Trail writes, to be honest, I'm not even mad. I understand we got 5, but we can't expect to compete with these injuries. So why even be stressed out? And Lattimore is burnt black toast. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm not upset. I knew this was going to be a daunting challenge. Jayden getting injured is the one thing that I am concerned about, that I am upset about. But ultimately, without Jayden, I told you what this team was. You saw what we were today without Jayden. So, like, I'm not upset. Now we got to play without him. We've seen this team without him this season. They're going to compete. They're going to be competitive because that's what they do. They're going to prepare. They're going to give themselves a shot. But we can't beat Kansas City and we can't beat Detroit. You got to hope you can beat Seattle at home, and you got to hope that you can beat Miami and get to 5-6 and give yourself a shot when Jayden comes back. Again, assuming that the injury isn't serious and it isn't like a season-ending injury, right? Just assuming that he's going to be on IR, miss the next 4 weeks, whatever that looks like, come off of IR and have a shot after the bye, right? Like, that's what you got to hope. But, you know, the irony of all of this is you might get Terry back next week. You might get Debo back next week, and now you don't have Jayden. So, oh, I hate life right now. Yikes. Lattimore definitely stinks. Big Money Sonny, thank you for being a member for 49 months. Celebrate! Who writes, disappointed, Lou. Truly disappointed. Salute to you. I'm beyond disappointed, man. This is not what this season was supposed to be, but we don't get to choose how things turn out, you know. So you roll with the punches, but it's hard to, you know, keep rolling with the punches when you just getting beat up and punches are just coming at you, bow, 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 bow. And it's just like a never-ending barrage of punches. It's hard. The Phillies ace 34. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Louie, I'm thrilled for y'all demise, but injuries are the reason y'all can't compete. So even though it can't be used as an excuse, but it's fact, we have similar O-lines. OC stinks. F Washington, go Eagles. Yeah, it stinks. I really was looking forward to having this division go down to us and y'all, and I was looking forward to taking the division from y'all because y'all not good. Like I watched y'all today against Minnesota. What keeps I gotta say, y'all are really good in the red zone. Somehow, some way, y'all find a way to get it done in the red zone. They went up and down the field on y'all today. You guys stink, but you found a way to win. That's what the good teams do, and nobody's had to deal with the shit that we've had to deal with, and that's the unfortunate. Just give me a shot. That's all I wanted was a chance, and we got robbed of that. Just give me a chance. Just give me a shot, and we didn't even get that. That's the shit that makes me upset. Eric Reeves, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, it may be me, but which strikes me as a Bieniemy type. You do it my way or else. He talks a good game, but it doesn't show on the field. Now, I don't see him as a Bieniemy type. I think he actually is a guy that is very prepared. I think he is very detail oriented. I just think he really don't have the pieces. I think his biggest downfall is that he lied to himself and said that, oh yeah, I got all the pieces I need. Because if you say that, and again, what is he supposed to say? He didn't have to say that. He could have just kept his mouth shut. Like they asked him, he's like, look, we just gonna use what we got. He could have said that. And that would have told us all we needed to know. But he keeps telling us, oh, I got everything I need. If you got everything you need, then we shouldn't be seeing the defense play this way. So if you tell me I got everything I need and then you can't get the job done, then now I'm looking at you. I'm not looking at the parts. I'm looking at you. You're the architect of this, right? You helped put this together and you told Adam Peters, oh, no, this is more than enough. I got everything I need right here. Okay, well, show me. And yeah, he's had to deal with injuries on the defensive side. No part of this roster is absolved from injuries, but he hasn't done enough. There was a super chat not too long ago that basically said he doesn't add any value. No creative blitzes, no creative coverages, no creative looks. You know, no way to add anything to this defense. He doesn't do anything. He's not getting guys on the field, mixing up personnel. He's basic. He's basic. Wrath of God. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Wrath of God writes, everybody in the club getting injuries. Heartbroken. Go on. Go on. Come on. Commanders GOAT 14. Thank you for the super chat. Who writes, injuries are a part of the game, Lou. I don't want to hear any excuses. We suck. Look at the 49ers. Again, we're not the 49ers. How long has John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan been there? Like, you guys keep making the mistake of thinking that this is a 10-year process. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been there since 2016. What are you talking about? Don't tell me to look at the 49ers. They've been here and they've built their roster so they could withstand injuries and figure this shit out. We're in year 2. Don't compare us to an operation that's been up and running for over a decade. Don't do that. That's not fair to this group. So, yeah, injuries are part of the game. Everybody's got to deal with them. Some teams are better equipped to deal with them than others. We're in year 2. We're not ready to deal with injuries at like a team that's in year 9, year 10, year 11 of their program. Some teams can deal with it better than others. So, again, don't compare us to the 49ers. Drew P., thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Drew P. writes, it was rush hour last year, Lou. Miss us with the injury excuses. Again, you can call it an excuse. I call it a reason. It's whatever. Tomatoes, whatever. Injuries are the reason we don't have a season. So last year, we didn't have this issue. If we had this same issue last year and we came out on the other side, then you could talk to me. But we didn't have this issue last year. We didn't have injuries. We didn't have to deal with none of this shit. We got to play with our players. The best guys were on the field last year for us. We had one injury that really was like, oh, damn, we lost a guy. And that was Jonathan Allen. Got hurt. And he actually came back before the end of the season. Eckler dealt with a concussion twice, but we were able to circumvent that. We didn't have any injuries last year. So we might have had little knickknacks, but everybody, they played through that shit. So Yeah. Miss me with all of that. GT87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. GT87 writes, big fan of your channel. Hoping JD5 has a speedy recovery, but Commanders were ass before he got hurt. Start your mock drafts. Go Birds. They were not playing up to the level before he got hurt, but that's because there were other injuries that impacted the level of play on the field. And we were asking him to do what you ask of an elite quarterback, which is to carry the squad. And I have no doubts that he would have been able to do that himself if he would have been able to stay healthy, right? I don't think we lose to the Falcons. I don't think we lose to he was healthy enough to beat the Bears. He made mistakes in that game that cost us that game. But I don't think we lose to the Falcons if he plays in that game. But that's nor here nor there. We'll never know because he didn't play in that game and he hasn't been healthy or wasn't healthy then. And we don't have all our guys. And so we never got to see what it looked like. So it is what it is. So you play the hand of the cards that you're dealt. Unfortunately, we got a lot of funnies in our hand. You can't bid for an impossible and you don't got no spades, no big cards in your hand. You ain't got nothing in your hand. There's a bunch of hearts and diamonds and clubs in your hand. And they low at that. You can't bid for. I mean, you're going to get set. So you can only play what you got. Derek B. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Derek B. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, no worries, Lou. We about to be flexed out of prime time. I think they're early enough to where we're not going to get flexed. We won't get flexed next week on Monday night. We won't get flexed the following week. And now we could get flexed out of the Denver game. Now, if Jayden Daniels is scheduled to be back, which I think he will be, but again, I don't know. I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. I don't know the severity of his injury. If he's done for the season, they're going to flex us out of that Denver game on Sunday Night Football. If he's back by then, they're going to let that one rock because that's two 2024, first round draft pick quarterbacks, whether we're 5-6, 4-7, 3-8, whatever the record is by then, they're going to let that one rock if Jayden Daniels is a part of that game. If he's not, they're going to get us the hell up out of there. And you're not wrong. But they can't move us off the Netflix game against Dallas on Christmas Day. They're not moving us off the Saturday game against the Eagles. We got to take this shit. So if he's done for the season, they stuck with us. They stuck with us. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Yoshi writes, Lou, I really don't got to say much other than I was right. We're just not ready in any capacity. Shame on AP for not seeing and not preparing for it. And Jayden disappointed me tonight. Very sloppy when we needed him the most. As far as AP is concerned, I hesitate to put the blame in his lap because he couldn't foresee all these injuries happening. I blame him for not signing Kendrick Bourne. And I am a believer that Kendrick Bourne, we can sit here and talk about, he was comfortable in the Shanahan offense and he wanted to go back to dudes go where the money is. Bullshit. If they would have gave Kendrick Bourne a deal that was greater than that of San Francisco, he would have signed here. I truly believe we were being cheap because if he didn't want to be here, if he wasn't open to the idea of coming to Washington, he wouldn't have took the this. Ain't nobody coming all the way over here to be courted, right? You weren't going to force a bidding war. If I just wanted to go to San Francisco, I just tell my agent, like Zach Ertz after the season last year, he told his agent, don't waste your time trying to talk to other teams. I just want to be back here. Get the deal done here. I just want to be here. If Kendrick Bourne wanted to be in San Francisco, he would have done that. He came here because he wanted to see if there was a more lucrative opportunity for him here. And at that time, again, it's hindsight is 2020. At that time, Terry was still healthy. Noah was healthy at that time. And Chris Moore made a play in week 1. So they felt like, we good, won't need him. You can kick rocks. Had that happened 2 weeks after he came the first time, had he come back, had he visited after the week 3 game, hell, after the week 2 game and Noah Brown had gotten hurt, they probably would have signed him. He came after the week 1 game. Everybody was still healthy, and Chris Moore made a play. They told themselves, we good. We got Chris Moore. We won't need him. That's the only one I regret. Everything else, it was what it was. You couldn't foresee all the injuries on the defensive line. You didn't know Will Harris was going to get hurt. You didn't know that the situation was going to get this dark and bleak at the receiver position. You couldn't have known that Jayden was going to get hurt not once but twice. You couldn't have known that this shitstorm was waiting around the corner for us. I can't blame AP for that. Can't prepare for something that you just can't see coming. JB3, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JB3 writes, not going to lie, I'm a fair weather fan. I appreciate the honesty. And I'm not ashamed. I really, truly appreciate that genuine honesty. I do. I'll support you, though. Maybe if we sell the team again, we can get a Super Bowl. Look, as long as you honest with yourself, that's all that matters, man. AJ Meehan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. AJ Meehan. Kyle Pitts eating tonight. Been a member for 39 months. Salute. Who writes? Honestly, did anyone expect anything different than this outcome? Injuries galore, and we gave up 30 plus a game. JD can't throw, cover, run, catch, tackle, and kick for us. Shiggity needs to change ASAP. And again, we never got to see what this was going to look like at full strength. And so we were left with the thought process of, hey, we got 5. 5 will give us a shot. And like you said, 5 can't tackle. 5 can't catch the ball himself. Like, we got guys like Zach Ertz dropping the ball. I'm not telling you that JD was perfect today. He was off, but I think some of that had to do with the fact that he ain't had enough time on task with these dudes. You got guys like Jalen Lane out here running comebacks, and they just not on the same page. It didn't look like this when he was throwing to Debo. I can say that much. But again, we don't get to play that game, touchdown. We don't get to play that game. All we can do is play with the cards that we dealt, like I said. And unfortunately for us, we got a shitty hand this year. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Also, May has lapped us in every aspect. This is going to haunt Washington fans for a minute. Also, can we take Quan out back and finish this once and for all? Same old skins. Glad to see the culture is back. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. My guy, Big Money Sonny writes, defense smells like Dookie boiled in hot dog water. Defense is bad, man. It's bad. I don't have nothing to add to that. It's bad. Jonathan Adams, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? I don't want to give up on this season, but at this point, buckle up for the ride. This injury roller coaster. Yeah, on this injury roller coaster. I feel you. I don't want to give up on it either, but I know better. I've been here enough. I've seen it enough. I know enough to know that I can see a path. Like I told you, we can beat Seattle. We can beat Miami, get to 5 and 6. And Jayden comes back after the bye week, and all of a sudden, you got a shot down the stretch. But you've lost too many you're not winning the division. Right? And you've lost too many NFC games. Now you're 1-4 in the conference. To be looking at anybody sideways, Atlanta, Green Bay, the Rams, anybody that doesn't win the NFC West, you can't look at them sideways. Whoever doesn't win the NFC North, you can't look at them sideways like, yo, let me get your spot. You ain't in a position to do that. The only team you can look at like that, if you beat them, is Seattle. That's the only one. And they're probably still going to finish with a better record than us when it's all said and done. Unless they collapse. So it's over. I hate to say it, but it's over. I hope you're right, though. I hope it's not over. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, DQ deserves to be here through Jayden's rookie deal. And he will be. I don't think he's the problem. I don't think anybody looks at him as the problem right now. But here's what's going to happen. The more that this team struggles, shit always flows downhill. So it's going to start with the coordinators, and we love Izzo and we love Cliff. So we ain't going to blame them. So all of the vitriol goes straight to Joe Witt Jr. And eventually, if you don't do something about that, then it flows downhill to you. And that's why I say if you're DQ, it doesn't benefit you to get rid of Joe Witt, because if you get rid of him and the shit don't improve, now they're coming after you. So at least there's somebody to blame. At least there's, and again, he's not looking at it this way. I'm just talking about it, you know, from my psychology background. Like, it's a lot easier for you to just say, there's the scapegoat right there. There's the scapegoat. You take away the scapegoat, and now who do we blame? Just go straight to the head coach now at this point. Can't blame special teams. You can't blame offense. So who do we blame after that? Head coach. Well, if the punching bag Joe Witt Jr. is there, you're going to keep punching at that. So DQ has, like I said, has he been the best this year? No. He has. This version of DQ wasn't the one from last year, but I thought he came into the game today with the right mindset. He was prepared to go for it on fourth down. And we had the false start. I don't know if he actually was going to snap the ball on that one. We never got a chance to see. And then he went for it. We didn't get it, but he went for it on another one, and it gave the Cowboys great field position. So I liked his mindset coming into the game. He got it. He knew he understood the assignment. We just didn't execute. Zach Miner. Zach, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Zach writes, bench Lattimore. Take Wagner out on 3rd and long. That Dak's scramble was it for me. Shaking my head. You know what the worst part about that shit was? I watch teams around the league when quarterback scramble, they trying to take their motherfucking head off. I'm talking about they diving, that quarterback sliding out of necessity, because if I don't slide, they're going to take my head off. And we standing at the sticks on this Dak scramble. We just standing there. Bobby Wagner standing there. Mikey standing there. We just waiting. And they let this mother effer run up there and get the guy. Well, I didn't think he got the first down personally. But they just stood there and waited for him. And that's the mentality we have as a defense. That to me is a microcosm of who we are defensively. We wait for somebody to do something. We don't take the fight to nobody. We wait and we want to counterpunch. We don't ever let the jab go and set up a power shot. We counterpunch it. We want you to throw the first punch so we can try to counter that shit and then hit you. And we suck as a counterpuncher. We ass. So you standing there, you absorbing blows. You're not aggressive. You're not getting off first. Like DQ loves the boxing analogy. We are a counterpuncher that is ass as a counterpuncher. So we taking a lot of damage. We not aggressive. We not winning on the scorecards because we not aggressive. And that play was a microcosm of who we are defensively. We'll let you run to us. We not running to you. They throw a pass out in the flats, and I'm like, oh, we finna murder this running back. I don't even know if it was, I think it could have been Turpin. It could have been Javonte Williams. It could have been Jayden Blue. I just know Payne got tremendous pressure. Dax knew he was about to get hit. Dak threw the bitch in the flats, like, let me get this shit out of my hand, hot potato style. And I just see a burgundy jersey flying to the flats. They missed. And I'm like, and he just ran down. It was Kavontae Turpin. He should have got his shit up. I mean, he should have got his ass waxed. And just spin, miss, up the sideline, gain of 20. And I just like, I hate it here, bro. I hate it here. I've just watched so many defenses where they just flying around and they hit anything that move. And our shit is just so passive aggressive. So passive aggressive. Tony, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, so no one legitimately concerned about Jayden's performance. I wasn't. Like, I didn't think he played poorly. He missed some throws, but again, I could easily chalk that up to he ain't got enough time on task with these dudes. And like, how about Zach Ertz catch the damn football? How about Jalen Lane catch the football? Like, I wasn't concerned. I wasn't concerned. I wish he would have not got hurt because I still think we could have won the game. But that's just me and my warped brain and how it works. And this was all being done without a run game, by the way. We thought we were going to be able to at least have some semblance of a run game. He was the run game. He led the team in rushing today. No, I wasn't concerned about his performance at all. CGM 87. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Lack of depth is the biggest problem, and it showed with the preseason results. DQ sounded pissed, and hopefully that shakes some shit the F up. Of course he was pissed. You can see DQ was pissed. Visibly, he was pissed on the sidelines. This is definitely the type of game that he's pissed at, but ain't shit gonna change. Well, how you gonna change something? Who gonna change it? What's gonna get done? Who's good enough to change the outcome of the next 3 games? Who? Collectively, how are we gonna come together and change the outcome? Ain't shit changing. He could be pissed off all he wants. You don't have it. You don't got it. You don't have it. You just don't have it. Marquell Randall, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Marquell, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, writes, what sucks more is this division is up for grabs. That is the part that really, I watched that Eagles. The Eagles aren't good. They're not, no, I shouldn't say that. The Eagles aren't great. They're good. They're not great. And they needed to, in order to win this division or make me feel like we couldn't win this division, they needed to be great, and they're not great. At best, they're good. And they are so beatable. So beatable. And that's the part that really pisses me off, is that we didn't get a shot. We didn't get a shot in a year where this shit is up for grabs. We were robbed of an opportunity. That's the shit that stings. That's the shit that stings. I'm right there with you, Marquell. That's the shit that stings. Video channel, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, everybody getting back this season. Everybody getting their get back this season. Yeah. Like, that's the Lions finna get their get back. I mean, yeah, we can't stop anybody from doing whatever they want to do at this point. Bears got their lick back. Falcons got their lick back. I would assume that if things continue, again, I don't know what it's going to look like later on in the season, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants got their lick back this season. Yeah, it sucks. CGM 87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, now Josh Johnson is our backup. I hate it here. I forgot all about that. I absolutely hate it here, bro. Jeez Louise. I hate it here, man. Golly. All right. Get a quick word from our sponsor. We'll come back on the other side and get to the rest of these comments. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all of your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat in the games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips. Play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper. All right, so we don't have any more information on Jayden. They just diagnosed him with a right hamstring injury. We don't know the severity of it still. So nothing more has come out. We probably won't learn more about the injury until tomorrow at best. And even then, I think DQ is going to hit us with the Wednesday bullshit where he goes, we just don't know more. We just don't have enough information right now. We're still collecting information. We'll know more on Wednesday. So we probably won't find out until Wednesday the severity of the injury. My guess is, this is what I get, and honestly, my guess is just me hoping that they really just, this is not serious, and they treat it as, you know, day to day, week to week type. He's not going to practice, and they're going to tell us, just like they did with the knee, they're not going to put him on IR, and they're going to, you know, not tell us if he's not playing, but continue to hold him out of practice. And then Friday, he'd be like, yeah, Jayden's not playing, that sort of thing. Because if they put him on IR, you know, it's significant. They wouldn't put him on IR if it's not. So that's, and again, I don't see them rushing him back. And Jayden's hamstring is important. So that's something he needs. Mr. Kendall, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Mr. Kendall writes, we should be sellers at the deadline. Tunzel and Debo, Louvu, Payne, and Mikey. Okay, you cannot trade Laramie Tunzel. That is not a smart move. That is a guy that has longevity here. He's a part of the solution, not the problem. Debo, definitely would be interested in moving him. Louvu, if you don't think Louvu is worthy of an extension this offseason, move him. If that comes up and someone's willing to give you something for him. Payne, yeah, Mikey, you can't move Mikey. Mikey's a part of the solution. He's young. That's the kind of guy you want to see a good defensive coordinator get his hands on and utilize him properly. But Tunzel and Mikey are off limits. Those guys are here. Debo, Louvu, and Payne, I'm listening, but the Louvu of all three of those guys is the one where you go, they signed him to a 3-year deal. This is year 2 of the 3-year deal. But this is also, you know, Louvu's getting closer to 30. Are you interested in bringing Louvu back, you know, after this contract is up? If the answer is no, or you're not sure, and somebody gives you a good enough offer, you should move him. I just don't see Louvu having that type of value. No one's trading for a linebacker at the trade deadline. It's premium positions that people trade for at the trade deadline. Corner, wide receiver, edge rusher, tackle. Those are the positions that teams go after at the deadline because those are premium positions. I'm not trading for a linebacker. Like Roquan Smith is one of those guys that you would trade for at the trade, but he's like an elite upper echelon difference-making linebacker. I don't think Frankie Louvu is that, but I would be open to moving him if they didn't think he was a part of the future. So, but Mikey and Tunzel are part of the future. You cannot move those two. Game Effects, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Game Effects writes, check your DM for early supers. All right. Thank you, MP, Miss Perry. Let's see what we got. All right, got quite a few. Is this it? All right. All right, so let's take a look at this. And let's move this from the screen. Appreciate you. And we're going to move me down to the bottom. We're going to turn this sideways. And let's get busy. So Daryl Holt, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Really appreciate you. Mob, you know what to do. Show Daryl some love. Welcome with open arms. Welcome to the squad, Daryl Holt. Double W writes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Lou, you can't convince me that Joe Witt Jr. isn't as bad as Del Rio Manusky. Him and Quan, Mikey, and Lattimore aren't good. Also, I'm done with being cheap in free agency. I can't. I'm not going to try to convince you that he's not as bad as those guys. I'm not even going to waste my breath. What I will say is that I think Mikey doesn't belong. Like Quan is solid. I think people overrate Quan because he was a second-round pick, and we were told by him and DQ and others that Quan is like that, and he's not. And I soured on Quan as far as him being like an elite player a long time ago. So I'm not as bent out of shape about Quan as some of you are. I always wanted Brian Branch. So that's another one of those missteps from the last group that I can't cry over spilt milk. What's done is done type of deal. But Mikey, I think, is better than y'all give him credit for. But that's just me. Ree, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, today is my 31st birthday, Lou. Life's been pretty good, honestly. 31 today, new girlfriend, made assistant manager, not doing so bad, Lou. I love it, Ree. I always love to hear great news. So happy for things going well in your life right now, man. And I hope it stays that way. That's the most important thing, is every day be better than the last and keep growing and getting better. So 30, year 30 sound like it treated you well. You grew a lot. I know that. I can speak to that growth. So now year 31, let's see what that looks like. Hopefully that continues to see you grow and be better than year 30, right? That's the goal. Every year, get better. Zaquan Ivory, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, what's Cliff's beef with Luke? I feel like he barely played offense today. He was out there. He just didn't get the ball, but he was out there. Today, Lattimore asked, also, refs aren't the reason we lost, but call it both ways. My gosh, I know. And I brought that up on Bleacher Report. Like, I'm not using the referees as a scapegoat, but they definitely did not call it both ways. The same pass interference they called on Marshawn Lattimore on the first possession, they literally did not call on the opposite side of the field when Robbie Chosen got interfered with. Like, that's clearly pass interference on that free play that Jayden had from the offsides. That's crazy that they didn't throw the flag. Rush is Variety. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, if I don't have anything nice to say, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I won't say it at all. So I'm guessing I'll be quiet for a while because this shiggity was a nightmare in every form. I feel you, bro. I absolutely feel you. CGM87 writes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, Joe, Barry, Whitless, and Donatel are two loser bum coaches. Shouldn't be on flight home. Marchump is absolute garbage and so is our inside zone run game. Sell at the deadline, spend all cap, us all in year 3. Yeah, I'm not as disappointed in some of the things as you guys are, but I totally get your frustration. I get it. Totally get it. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, each week is regression. Something must change. Each week you're more hurt than the week before. No Debo this week, right? You get Cosme back. Yay! He didn't even finish the game. I guess they figured once you get your ass whooped, let's just let Wiley get out there. Like, we don't even need him to be out there, and we're wasting Cosme out there. Let's just get him out of there. He got enough work in. And keep working him in. I hope that's the reason he came out the game and not because anything was wrong, because Wiley finished this game. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, Louie, I'm just a fan, but I don't understand these defensive schemes. Playing off on critical downs is 5 uncomfortable running boots. First boot I've seen or remember seeing all year. Undisciplined, too many penalties. No, there's a lot of things that we watch as fans and we just don't get. And we feel like if we had a chance, we would do it differently, but they don't see it that way. There's so many things I would do if I was in control. So many different things that I would try to utilize. But again, we armchair quarterbacks, right? We at home, we get to see it. We can call it what we want to, we see it the way we see it. It is what it is. I don't disagree with you at all. I don't even like the fact that Jayden never gets under center. There's so much that you can do if your quarterback gets under center. He never gets under center. Like, I hate that. Because there's so much, like even last year when we would get into like short yardage, at least Jayden would get under center. A lot of the times it would be like a naked boot where he would just run it. But remember, his first touchdown pass was a boot to Trent Scott, where he came out, boot, touchdown. Like we don't get under center. That shit is infuriating. But again, not for us to complain about. We don't control any of that. Layla Brown, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Layla writes, I'm done, Louie. My birthday tomorrow is going to suck. I know. I'm so sorry, Layla. Happy born day, though. Happy born day a day early. I'm so sorry that they couldn't give you the ultimate gift, which is beating Dallas and making you feel good going into your birthday. That sucks. But it is what it is. Happy born day, though. You don't let them steal your joy and make your day, your born day, not the best it could be. So make sure you continue to just enjoy the day, right? GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes? Prayers for JD5. Hope all is good. Likewise. Prince Neo 22. Stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Show Prince Neo 22 some love. Welcome with open arms. Welcome to the squad. Prince Neo 22. Divine Do Care. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, football gods could only give us one season of fun. At FBI, Joe Witt, Quan, and Lattimore are terrorists. Get them out. Not reporting them to the FBI. Oh, no. I'm still tripping off of when them two jokers crashed into each other and gave CeeDee Lamb the walk-in touchdown. Unbelievable. Captain Obvious, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, in the first half, the defense did their job and the offense didn't. I agree with that. I know they gave up the touchdown before halftime, and that shit sucked. But ultimately, we knew it was going to be a shootout, and they didn't do their part. We knew going into this game, though. I still got 5 on it. I'm still rocking with these coaches, as am I. Not all of them, but most of them. All right. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Let's get back to the comments. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Big Money Sonny writes, did you think top 5 dead or alive have a shot today? He did until he got hurt. I told the mob, I said, we still winning this game. Even after they gave up the touchdown right before halftime, I told the mob, we still winning this football game. I might have been outside my rabbit ass mind, but 5 just instills irrational confidence in me. Him hurt, I'm down bad, bro. I'm down, man. I'm down. I ain't out, but I'm on the canvas and I'm on some Mike Tyson shit. I'm wondering if I should pick up my mouthpiece and put it back in my mouth or not. Like, I'm questioning whether I want to get up and fight. Like, this shit hurt today. Because losing to Dallas is one thing. I went into this game with very low confidence in us winning, but I expected to come out of this game with 5 healthy. I thought I was going to have a chance to fight again next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. Now you've stripped the one thing from me that I had, and a man with hope is a dangerous man. I got no hope right now. I got no hope because you took the one thing that gave me hope from me. Haval, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Haval writes, Damn it, all I ask for is to get to 9 wins at this point. I'm dying at least to have back-to-back winning seasons and break that streak since 91-92. 9 wins ain't gonna do nothing for me. I needed double digits and I needed the playoffs. So yeah, that ain't do shit for the kid. But until it's dead, until it's not possible, I'm gonna hold out hope. But it's slim. And you ain't gonna hear me talk about the shit. It's just gonna be in the back of my mind, like, hey, it ain't dead yet. Because I'm an optimist at heart. So my optimism is gonna remain, even though there's pessimism all around. And there's gonna be a ray of hope in there. And I'm gonna, try my hardest to find that optimism and just pull on that and just like, hey, but if we could just, but I know better. I know better. Curtis Diggins, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Really appreciate you. Jeremiah, thank you for being a member for 39 months. Jeremiah writes, why us though? Like, I know injuries happen, but damn, I ask myself these questions all the time. Like, what we do to deserve this? Why we can't have nice things? We not like, are we a terrible fan base or something? Like, the Eagles are the absolute worst. They are the scum of the earth, and they don't deal with this shit every year. Like, what did we do to deserve this shit? Like, Snyder's not here no more. I thought that this shit was over, bro. It's just like, why? What we do? We paid for our sins already. At least I thought we did. At least I thought we did. AJ Meehan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, injury this, injury that. Funny thing is our defense is technically healthy and it's still this bad, LOL. Now, offense, yes, we are hurt. That's not true. Your starting defensive ends, both of them are hurt. Dorrance Armstrong and Dietrich Wise. Your backup defensive end, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, is hurt. Your starting safety, Will Harris, is also hurt. Jonathan Jones, who was supposed to provide depth at the cornerback position, even if you were thinking about benching Marshawn Lattimore, you couldn't. You couldn't because Jonathan Jones wasn't healthy. He just came back this week. We've been banged up on defense too. Y'all underrate the impact of what, man, you can't tell me shit about Dietrich Wise and what he was doing and what he was going to do this year. That's a big effing loss. And Will Harris is a big effing loss in the secondary too. So don't tell me that the defense hasn't been hit with the injury bug, because it has. And we've had other guys miss, like last week, Eddie Goldman missed the game. He wasn't hurt, but he missed the game due to being ill, right? So, like, you can't tell me we ain't dealt with injuries on defense. That's false. It's been more prevalent on offense, and there's been more of them on offense, but we dealing with it on defense too. We dealing with it on defense too. Smacky, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Smacky writes, at what point are we going to recognize that JD5 play style will continue to get him hurt? He didn't get hurt running anywhere. He got hurt in the pocket. Like, what are you talking about? The injury against Green Bay, okay, fine. That one was outside of the pocket. But this ain't got nothing to do with his play style. He got hurt in the pocket. Dude rolled up on him and injured his hamstring. Like, that ain't got shit to do with his play style. Like, we going to stop acting like quarterbacks just don't get hurt because Joe Burrow got hurt standing in the goddamn pocket. They got shit to do with Joe Burrow's play style. Tom Brady tore his ACL standing in the damn pocket. If you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt, bro. This ain't got nothing. It'd be one thing if he got hurt Robert Griffin III style outside the pocket, diving and got his leg hit or some shit. He got hurt in the pocket today. More injuries to quarterbacks occur in the pocket than they do outside of the pocket. It's a double-edged sword, not blaming, just being objective. I hear you, Smacky. I'm just telling you that's not true. He didn't get hurt because of his play style today. So, misunderstood. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, You think we should sign Gardner Johnson at this point, or just let it go? Just let it go. He doesn't add any value to this team at this point. And again, that's not what they're looking for in the locker room. Man, Kyle Pitts is eating tonight. Font JD, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Clowney looked fairly decent tonight, Lou. No, he didn't. He had the one batted ball. He looked decent because we allowed him to. Clowney's ass. He ain't did shit to enhance that Cowboys defense. We made dudes look like DaRon Bland got a pick 6 today. DaRon Bland is still ass cheeks. Like, we made dudes look better than what they, really look like tonight. So, I can't say that, oh, man, I wish we would have signed Clowney. Now, Clowney's still basic as hell. Like, he wasn't going to do nothing to help this defense. Again, we got pressure today. I'm disappointed that we wasted the effort that we got out of the D-line today. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, all we need is 5 was unrealistic. All ones need help. Facts. You're not wrong. I never said that he could do it by himself, which is why I wasn't super confident going into this game. But he does give me hope. He does give me that. He does give me a reason to believe. Without it, I don't have any. Frank Brown, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Frank writes, sup, Lou? Sup, Frank? This can't be it. Hate losing to the Cowgirls, man. JD5 tried. I hate it here. We got to be better. Drop passes, D trash, HTT for life, though. I know, man. It was sickening, Frank. Like, this is who we gonna be, man. This is what it is now. Like, moving forward, this shit sucks, Frank. This shit sucks, man. I hate it here, bro. I really, truly do. Big X 420. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I bet Gabe can wrap up and tackle better than Quan. Shout out to Gabe, man. Font JD, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Joe Witt was up in the booth looking like he can't figure out a math problem. You saw him hit his hands on the table when they gave up the touchdown before the half. He's a brown paper bag trash as a D. He's a brown paper bag trash as a DC. What happened to we're going to arrive violently? I just want them to arrive at all now at this point. Like, we're not even violently. Just can you arrive at all? Sheesh. Wrath of God. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Wrath of God writes, not to beat a dead horse, but I truly thought we had a chance to win this division this year. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. And even after watching the Eagles today, I was like, yo, if we beat Dallas today, we really gonna win this division. Because I told you, if we come out of this game somehow with a victory, you can't tell me shit because we ain't had no business winning today. Told y'all that. Y'all ain't want to hear that shit, though. Y'all told yourself, convinced yourself somehow we was gonna come out of there with a victory again. I started to try to convince myself at halftime because I watched the game and I was like, bro, this defense, this Cowboys defense is as advertised. They are ass. We can do whatever we want, but we got to stay out of the way. But we couldn't get out of our own way. Couldn't get out of our own way. Of course, without all the injuries. From top of the world, Alaska, HTTR. Yeah, man. I'm just disappointed, man. This was not what this season was supposed to become. This is not what it was supposed to become. Video channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, if Witt gets fired, who becomes DC play caller? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got decisions that you would have to make. I mean, they clearly would have someone in mind if they were going to do that. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Ken Norton is a logical choice. He's been a defensive coordinator in this league before. So he would make a ton of sense. He was not a great defensive coordinator in Seattle when he had the play calling duties. So I wouldn't love that. Again, they got plenty of guys here that they could, definitely elevate if they were going to do that. But is that going to solve the issue that we have? I don't necessarily think so. I'm watching the 49ers defense fly up on a toss, and they just fly to the ball. When the corner gets out there, funnels everything back inside. Don't play it passive and wait for the tackle to kick you out. He came up, slid to the outside, forced him to cut back. Here come guys flying into the football, tackle for no gain. That shit don't even look like what we do. You know what I mean? This shit don't even look the same. It don't look nothing like what it needs to be. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Derek B writes, AP and Terry killed the vibes and we never got them back. Oh, boom, was a pick. That's a young boy too. I don't know if I ever seen him. That looked like a funny looking ass number. Is that 35? Lucas, safety. I think that's a safety. See, we don't have none of that shit, man. They got all these young boys in San Francisco. I can't wait till we get to that point. They got all these young boys, man. They got Stoughton, Upton Stout. They got the other safety. That shit went right through his hands, bro. They got these young boys. I can't wait till we get to that point. We ain't there yet. We just starting, bro. They got all these young boys, man. He jumped the shit out of that route. You run any kind of out route against us, we off by 9 yards. That shit's an easy completion unless it's Trey Amos. He the only one that's even remotely in the picture. I agree with you, Derek B. AP and Terry killed the vibes. I don't blame them for this season going south, but I do blame them for killing the vibes. And we never did get them back. I agree with that. I totally am on board with that mindset. Ron Rivera, thank you for the super. I said that in the summertime, though. I said, this shit is hurting us. It's hurting us. Now, again, I didn't say it hurt us from an injury standpoint because I couldn't see that shit coming, but it hurt us. Ron Rivera, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, sorry, Lou. That sequence before the half, 100% on DQ. We scored before the half, snapping the ball with 24 seconds on the play clock. You know your defense won't stop them from getting a field goal minimum. I'm a big proponent of score when you can score. We were going tempo. We had them on their heels. McNichols broke that play where he, broke the tackle and got all the way to the 1 yard line, and they didn't want to take their foot off the gas pedal. Score when you can score. I hear you. You would love to be able to bleed the clock as much as possible and score, but with the way we operate, we could have easily had a holding penalty that pushed us back, and now you only got 14 seconds left because you wanted to bleed clock. Just score when you can score. Like, we're not good enough to be able to dictate when we can hold it and then score. We ain't the Lions and the Chiefs and one of these teams that's like that on offense. Get your points when you can get them. I hear you, though. I hear you. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Man, McCaffrey is killing these boys on the ground. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, oh, Quan got to be on the bench. Awful, just awful. And put who in the game? And put who in the game? Lorenzo Simpson, my guy Zoe, been a member for 49 months. Celebrate, even though it ain't a lot to celebrate. Go back and watch. Bill is running the same jumbo formation. It's too predictable. This season is over time, and I'm sick. Yeah. I didn't watch the film last week. I need to watch it this week. I don't know if I want to watch it this week, but I probably need to. It's probably, a lot of people were saying it's predictable. They're probably right. They're probably right. Because the Cowboys clearly were loading up to stop the run. Clearly were loading up to stop the run. And we didn't do anything to deter them. PX plus $2. Thank you for the super. Thank you for becoming a member of the MOBB. Stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. PX plus $2. Mom, you know what to do. Show them some love. Welcome with open arms. Welcome to the squad. PX plus $2. Glad to have you on board. Jonathan Adams, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jonathan Adams writes, maybe we could use Bill as a slot receiver and Rodriguez as running back. Just a thought. Nah. Bill is fine. Like, you can't go from National Bill Day 3 weeks ago to now he needs to be a slot receiver and we need to put C-Rod in the game. Like, this isn't a Bill problem. This is a us problem. This isn't a Bill problem. This is figuring out what's the best way to get this offensive line to be what we need them to be. So they got some work to do. Matt got him. He ain't gonna get there though. So no, I don't think that's necessary. PX plus $2. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, the newest member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, why is it that our team makes bad teams look good? Because we're not good. You got to understand. And I said this last week. I said it on Bleacher Report. I think I said it on the channel, but I said sometimes you don't want to believe that you're not a good team. But when things keep happening the way that they're happening, you got to start to look at yourself and say, good teams don't lose at home to the Bears in the fashion that we did. Good teams don't, do the things that we've done this season, find themselves in the position that we're in. That's not what good teams do. Good teams find ways to win. They don't find ways to lose. So maybe we're not a good team. The Bears sucked at stopping the run. The Bears sucked at running the football, and we allowed them to do both. Run the football and stop the run. That's not what good teams do. You go out and you find a way to take advantage of what someone else doesn't do well. We don't do that. We don't do that. So we're not a good team. That's why we make bad teams look good. This version of our team isn't capable of taking advantage of someone else's weakness. The team that started the season off with confidence, with healthy bodies, was capable. This version, without Terry, without Noah, without Debo, without Dorrance, without Dietrich, without Will, this team ain't capable of taking advantage of a team's weakness. We ain't capable of doing that. We're not. So we make teams that are subpar look like they're really good. Like, I hope the Cowboys fans don't, like, they should be happy. I would be feeling good about myself. But they know they still ass on defense. They're still ass on defense. And good teams are going to shred them. Their defense stinks. So it is what it is. I hate it here, guys. I really do. Joseph's Journey. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Joseph's Journey writes, AP is overhyped. Oldest roster, 2 draft, lackluster. Again, I don't agree with that assessment of him. You guys want him to work miracles in 2 years. You want to take a back. We had the worst roster in football, arguably the worst roster in football when he got here, and you want him to take that worst roster in football. We keep bitching and complaining about what the last group did and how they turned this roster into some shit. And you want him to come in here and magically wave a wand and turn this roster into a really good roster in just 2 years. You can't, y'all. It's funny because some of y'all last year during the trade deadline, you wanted to be aggressive. You wanted to go after Marshawn Lattimore. He didn't know Lattimore was going to be ass. You didn't know that. None of us did. You wanted them. You're happy when we went and got Laramie Tunsil. I'm still happy we went and got Laramie Tunsil. You were happy we went and got Debo. You can't complain about the drafts. We have 5 players because we were aggressive. And 4 of those 5 guys are contributing at a high level. You may not love what they're contributing, but they're contributing at a high level. So, again, yeah, the roster's old. You're not wrong. This roster's old. And they tried to supplement the young guys with a bunch of veterans. And I think it may ultimately help us in the long run that Bobby Wagner was here and, Zach Ertz was here, and they showed these young guys how to work and what it means to be a professional and all that stuff. It's going to benefit us down the road, but we're an old football team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're the oldest team in the league, and it's showing. It's showing. But again, I don't really know what y'all wanted AP to do. Give me what's the alternative? What does that look like? I could see one or two missteps that I would have done differently, but ultimately, he did what he could do with what he had. So that's going to put a wrap on this one. That's a gutty ass win from San Francisco. Gutty, gritty ass win. Atlanta's a good football team too. That defense is for real. It really is. Shadow Striker 789, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, good news is we get Cliff another year. Those head coach offers are gone. I think you're right. I mean, there's no guarantee, but I do think he's not the hottest commodity anymore. Love 17, and I'm not saying it's his fault, but the downward trend started with his holdout. I don't disagree with that. Totally agree with that assessment. We talked about it in the offseason. We talked about, this shit is killing us because it killed the vibes, like Derek B said. But not only did it kill the vibes, we didn't get the type of work we were supposed to get this summer. We went into the season with the defense not getting the work that it needed to get. The offense didn't get the continuity that it needed. And like Cliff said, it's hurting us. It's hurting us on third downs. It's hurting us overall. Jayden was supposed to take that next step, and he was robbed of that because he had to go out there with a bunch of funny lookings this summer. And the only thing that came good of that situation was he got work with Debo. That was it. But that's not what this was supposed to be. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Yoshi writes, in all seriousness, it's just sad because when it comes to 2026 class, it really isn't that deep on defense, especially safeties. We need a top 8 pick. And I can tell you right now, we ain't getting that shit. So this is why I don't do mock drafts in October, November, because you don't know what the hell this team going to be. You don't know what this season is going to be. 7 weeks in. The shit is over. We can agree on that. But then you might want to tank. That's not in my vocabulary, and it damn sure ain't in their vocabulary. So you're not getting an elite pick. You're not getting the Ohio State safety. So you get that shit out your mind right now. So and we could use a whole heap of shit. You don't just need a safety. You need a corner. You need an edge rusher. You can use a linebacker. We can use some of everything. It ain't a damn thing we don't need on this team. So I'm not really tripping over, we need this or we need all of it. Every bit of it. It ain't a damn thing we can't use on both defense and offense, other than quarterback. We can use everything. Anyhow, I digress. That's the last comment. That this is it's tough. It's tough. We've hit the point of the season where it's pretty much over. Don't know the extent of Jayden's injury, but it ain't gonna be. We're not gonna wake up tomorrow and the Commanders dodged a bullet with Jayden Daniels and he could be ready on Monday night against the Chiefs. That ain't the shit we waking up to. We know that. Even if we dodged a bullet, he's still missing at least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks. By then, you're 3-6. Bare minimum. Maybe you beat the Seahawks with Marcus Mariota. Maybe. He's on par with Sam Darnold, but the Seahawks defense is like that. That's the difference. Our defense and Jackson Smith and Jigba is one of the best receivers in football. He might have 300 yards receiving against our sorry ass. Anyway, CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Doc Walker said post-game, Terry was a leader we all of a sudden didn't treat like one. I think blame on both sides. I think Titans would take Cliff. You never know. Yeah. I told you it's blame on both sides. I've said that. I said it again tonight. Everybody wants to blame Terry. He's easy scapegoat. AP's it's just enough blame to go around for AP as it is for Terry. Nobody's right in that situation. Everybody had a hand in that shit, and it is what it is. So I agree with Doc Walker. I agree with that. Anyway, I digress. To what this season could have been, to what we thought it was going to be, and what it ultimately ended up being. They can never take what we were. They can never take away what we were. Damn. Just like that. Shit's over. Y'all have a great night, man. I love all y'all. Wish this shit could have been better for us. We deserve better. But it wasn't in the cards this year. See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night. For you football fans, I'll be back Sunday Night Football overtime. Talk about this game, 49ers, Falcons. Some real teams in the NFC. See you guys next time. Peace.